A very good evening and welcome inside FirstEnergy Stadium for Game 2 of this week's 6-game series between the Reading Fightin Phillies and the Chesapeake Baysox. Welcome into tonight's pregame show. I'm Jake Starr, joined alongside by my broadcast partner Bob McCool. Appreciate you spending part of your Wednesday night with us. And it's another beautiful Wednesday night here in Baseball Town. I mean, you can't draw it up much better than this. Temperature 72 degrees, sunny skies. You could even say it's like an early fall-like evening here from Baseball Town. Nothing to hate about that. Reading tonight looks to snap a 3-game skid. They fell 5-2 last night at home against the Baysox. Reading got 6 strong innings from SD Benzone Jimenez, who allowed 2 runs over those 6 innings. Reading's offense was quiet most of the night. Felix Reyes had a couple of hits and a couple more RBI as his excellent season continues for the R-Phils. And tonight, it's Chuck King who gets the ball for Reading, bringing a 7-5 and 4.43 ERA against Zach Fruit, a righty for the Baysox who struggled with some injuries this year. And the numbers just 0-4 and 8.04 ERA. But Fruit was strong his last time out, and he'll look to trying to make a fruit pun. I totally lost where I wanted to go with that. He'll look to, I guess, bear the fruits of his labor. There we go. I'm sure Bob's giving me a nod of approval right now in tonight's ballgame with the Fightin's offense. We'll look to get things back on track tonight. We're going to take our first break on tonight's pregame show. When we come back, we're joined by the manager, Al Padrique, for our weekly sit-down with the Skip. Busy day for the Skip. He was on the radio this morning with Bob, Mike Keller, myself, and Matt Jackson. And Al will join us for part 1 of 2 of our pregame conversation with Al Padrique. And that's coming up when our pregame show rolls on after this. Back on the pregame show here on the Fightin Phillies Radio Network. Reading and Chesapeake, couple of minutes away from getting the second game of this homestand underway. Chuck King and Zach Fruit, the starting pitchers in tonight's ball game. Once again, I'm Jake Starr. Sitting to my right, as always, except on Fridays this time of year, is Bob McCool. Bob, I want to look back at last night. Aiden Miller gets his 50th stolen base of the year. That's an accomplishment, I think, that is bigger than maybe some might kind of point out. But I think that's a big deal because when you look at a guy like Aiden Miller, the speed and the base running ability wasn't something people really pointed to. And, Miller's someone, look, everyone's goal is to be a five-tool player, and he's really showing one of those tools that maybe people didn't project him to have is actually one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, and it tells you that there are other ways to impact the game. And when the Phillies drafted Aiden Miller, what they talked about was his power, and ultimately thought that because of his power and because of his strength, it would ultimately move him out of the shortstop position. But Aiden Miller has wanted to play shortstop all along, and showing his athleticism in the way he's going about it. And ultimately, there are other ways to affect the game other than just the long ball. You can get on base. He does get on base. He's among the league leaders in walks, and obviously you walk him, and you can theoretically turn that into a double. So you can impact the game in more ways than just hitting home runs.
Well, we'll see what Aiden Miller and the Fightin Phils have in store tonight. They have taken the field, and it's time for the national anthem. So that'll wrap up tonight's pregame show. We'll have lineups and first pitch coming up after this here on the Fightin Phils Radio Network. Good evening and welcome into FirstEnergy Stadium for tonight's game between the Reading Fightin Phils and the Chesapeake Baysox. Along with my broadcast partner Bob McCool, I'm Jake Starr. Appreciate you spending part of your Wednesday night here with us. Well, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with the visitors, the Chesapeake Baysox. 120th game of the season for them. Chesapeake 20-32 in the second half and 51-68 overall. They're led by second-year manager Roberto Mercado. And they line up as Enrique Bradfield Jr. leads off in center. Austin Overn bats second, plays left. Reed Trimble bats third, he'll play right, and Adam Retzbach cleans things up as the catcher. Ethan Anderson fifth, will play first. Max Wagner sixth at third base. Douglas Hodo is the DH, bats seventh. Tavian Josenberger is eighth, he'll play second. Carter Young bats ninth, plays shortstop. Zach Fruit, the pitcher on the mound for the Baysox, will get you his numbers in the bottom half of the first inning. Fightin Phils, also their 120th game of the year. 47-72 overall, 22-30 in half number two, led by third-year manager Al Padrique. Aiden Miller leads off. Will be the shortstop tonight. Carson DiMartini bats second and plays third. Felix Reyes, the left fielder, bats third. Caleb Bricketts is fourth. He'll be the catcher. Jose Rodriguez fifth. He'll play second. Alex Bennell is sixth at first base. Dylan Campbell bats seventh. He'll play center. Nick Dunn is eighth at DH, and Leandro Pineda bats ninth, plays right. On the mound for the Fightin Phils, making his 23rd appearance, and lucky number 20 at first start. It's the righty, 27-year-old Chuck King.
And Chuck King has had the opportunity to get into the starting rotation, and he has not left it. As Jake said, his 21st start, 7-5 overall. The 4.43 earned run average, 109 2/3 innings pitched. He has given up 122 hits, struck out 84, He's walked 28. The home run ball has been his problem. He has given up 17 home runs on the season. Al Padrique mentioned in the pregame show about the fact that Chuck King's a guy who's going to go out there and give us five innings pitched and most nights, and that's what we look for him. And just going back through 14 out of his last 15 starts for Chuck King, he has indeed gone at least 5 innings.
So Enrique Bradfield Jr. will lead things off for the Baysox tonight. Home plate umpire tonight's Brandon Spivak, Nate Dieterich, the crew chief at third, and Tatum Littleton is at first. Rounds out the three-man Eastern League umpiring crew. King is ready. He works only from the stretch from the middle of the rubber, and the right-handed pitcher fires the first pitch home. And it catches the outside corner for a called strike at 6:47 p.m. Our game time temperature 71 degrees under sunny skies. Thanks to All Temp Enterprises. 0-1 the count to Enrique Bradfield. The next pitch he waves and whiffs at it. It's quickly 0-2. Bradfield, quiet night last night, was 0 for 5 with a strikeout. He had a career best 15-game on base streak that also came to an end in last night's ball game. The 0-2 home. Misses down, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bradfield ranks as the Orioles' number 4 overall prospect. A first-round pick by Baltimore out of Vanderbilt back in 2023. He's in from the left side, and King fires home, and that's swung on its slap foul off the facing of the Baysox dugout on the third base side. '47th game of the season for Bradfield, hitting .265 overall. Has launched a couple of home runs. He's driven in 14. Most of his damage has been on the base pass. 1-2. Swung on and lifted into the air, deep towards left center field. Dylan Campbell races back, so does Reyes. It's down in a one-hop off the wall. Bradfield will get this second. That's where he'll stop, as Campbell, a good job to fish it up and fire it in. So it's leadoff double for Enrique Bradfield Jr., his 11th, and that'll bring Austin Over, the left fielder, to the plate.
We didn't see much with the Bradfield last night with the bat, but in this particular case, drove it in a perfect spot. And Dylan Campbell just couldn't run it down. But a good job by them. With a guy with Bradfield speed, you got to make sure you get there and get it back in quickly, because that ball in a gap with that kind of speed from Bradfield can be a triple pretty quickly.
So Austin Overn in from the left side. Bradfield takes the lead off second. DeMartini's up in the grass at third with the lefty bat over and up. First pitch home is taken on the corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Rest of the Orioles defense, Alex Pinellas at first, Jose Rodriguez plays second. Aiden Miller's at short, Carson DeMartini's at third. Leandro Pineda in right, Dylan Campbell center. Felix Reyes plays left, and Caleb Ricketts is the catcher tonight for Chuck King. Reddy checks back at second, deals home, and it's a swing and a miss by Over, and it's 0-2.
Outfield shading over and way around the other way. And you mentioned about Aiden Miller and not your prototypical player to steal 50 bases. The guys at the top of this Baysox lineup are the kind of guys you expect to be those kind of players. The Bradfields and the Overns, 170, 175-pound players who can run. Those are the guys you expect to be 50 stolen base kind of players.
0-2, a swing and a miss by Austin Overn. He goes down on strikes. First strikeout tonight for Chuck King, and that'll bring Reed Trimble to the plate.
And then you look at the body type of an Aiden Miller, and he's 205 pounds plus, and a much more physical, imposing specimen, so you don't think of him as a guy who's going to steal a lot of bases when you look at him. But quite obviously, he is that guy, and I think he's surprised a lot of people around baseball with his ability to steal bases in 2025.
So here's Reed Trimble, switch hitter who digs in from the left side. First pitch home, and Trimble will watch that one down the chute for a called strike. It's 0-1. Good night last night for Reed Trimble, went 2 for 4, doubled homer, and also drove in 3 of the 5 runs for the Baysox. So Chuck King trying to keep Trimble quiet tonight after he invoked some damage a night ago. Pitch home, and it's taken low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trimble has seen King once before, 1 for 3 with a strikeout. King faced the Baysox back on July the 11th in Bowie. Set at the letter is ball and a strike to Reed Trimble. Pitch home, and that is taken bit down. 2 balls and 1 strike. In that start on July 11th at the Baysox, it was a no decision for King, but a very good outing. Went 6 innings, surrendered just 3 hits and an earned run. Did not walk anyone and struck out 6. 2-1 the count to Reed Trimble, and King fires. It swung on a miss, 2-2. Early returns, changeup looks good for Chuck King tonight. Already a couple of swing and misses on it. '50th game with the Baysox this year. Trimble a .240 hitter. Been strong against Reading this year, hitting .316, a couple of home runs, and 7 runs driven in. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count here with 1 out to Reed Trimble. Pitch him, swinging a miss, struck him out. Another nice changeup there from Chuck King. Back-to-back punch-outs for the righty, and that'll bring Adam Retzbach to the plate for the Baysox.
Well, again, it's all about deception with that changeup, because if you're having face it, you just sit there thinking, well, how many times can you throw the changeup and you fool him? It's not so much that it's the speed of the pitch, it's the deception of the pitch, which is that the good one makes you think, based on everything he's throwing, that it is the fastball, and you don't realize it's not until it just doesn't get there as much as you thought it was going to.
First pitch to Retzbach. He'll take a sinker up and into the righty bat. It's 1-0.
But you've got to make that fastball release very much like the changeup release in order for everything about it to look the same, including the release and the arm speed.
King's ready, the 1-0 home. Retzbach will take that one down the chute for a called strike. Evens up the count at 1. 2 outs in the top half of the first inning. Still a scoreless ball game between the Fightin' Phillies and Baysox. Adam Retzbach 0 for 4 and a strikeout in last night's ball game. And the 1-1 is taken again. This one a bit off the outer edge. It's 2-1 to Retzbach.
And the other piece of the puzzle of the changeup, maybe the finishing piece of it, is there has to be a good enough difference between your fastball and the changeup. And they generally say it's got to be at least 8 to 10 miles an hour difference in terms of its actual speed to really keep the batter off balance.
2-1. Swinging a tapper, left of the mound, charging is King. He'll field it. He'll fire to first.
Oh.
And I don't think Alex Pinellas ever saw it.
No, he didn't.
He lost that one completely in the sun. It goes right by him down the right field line. Scoring is Enrique Bradfield Jr., and that'll make it a 1-0 ball game. I mean,
yeah, Pinellas just bailed on it. I mean, Chuck King fielded the ball and just tossed it to him because he had time, and just literally when he threw it, it went right into the sun. Alex Pinellas does not have sunglasses on, and when King threw it to him, he literally just bailed on it because he never saw where the ball was, and it rolled down the right field line. Leandro Pineda had to go get it, so that's going to end up being an error and a run scored.
So 1-0. Ethan Anderson steps in as Adam Retzbach now stands on second base.
They scored that right now as a hit.
Yeah, on the scoreboard they have it as a hit. First pitch is swung on, fouled back, just to our left where it kicks off a seat. And back down towards the concourse. It's 0-1 to Anderson. 182. This is 7th AA game. Was promoted to the Baysox last week. And here's the 0-1. Misses low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Ethan Anderson.
So that's the thought process is that you can't, who do you give the error on? I mean, King did his job. It wasn't an error on the play. It was sun blindedness that got Pinellas. So I guess it's a base hit and an RBI for Retzbach.
1-1, and that one misses low and away. So there has to be an error for him to get to second base. So it's going to be a single for Retzbach, and then it's a throwing error on Chuck King that allows the runner to get the second base. 2-1 is swung on and lifted foul. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Anderson.
On that theory, then it should also be an unearned run because he wouldn't have scored.
If it was an infield hit, it would be first and third. The throwing error is what scored Bradfield, so Retzbach wouldn't get an RBI either.
Right.
So 2-2 the count. Ethan Anderson with 2 outs here in the inning. King checks back at the runner at second. Deals home. It's a changeup down in the dirt. A good block by Caleb Ricketts to keep it in front of him. Ball kind of trickled up the third base line, but Anderson took, and Retzbach stayed put at second. Anderson 0 for 4 last night with a strikeout. And it's a full count with 2 outs to Ethan Anderson. King's ready at the letters. Checks back the runner at second, fires the payoff pitch. That's swung on a ground ball left side, fielded by DeMartini, who is charging his throw to first, is in time. And that is a 5-3 putout to end the inning. So Baysox do score a run. They had 2 hits. There was 1 error and 1 man left on base. We played 1 half here from Baseball Town. Baysox on top. It's 1-0. Bottom half of the first inning, Baysox 1, Fightin Phillies coming to bat. And we'll take one more look at how they line up tonight, presented by Golden Oaks Landscaping. Aiden Miller leads off. Will be the shortstop. Carson DeMartini bats second. At third, Felix Reyes in left field bats third. Caleb Ricketts is fourth. He'll be the catcher. Jose Rodriguez, fifth, plays second. Alex Pinella, sixth at first base. Dylan Campbell bats seventh and plays center. Nick Dunn is eighth at the DH. And Leandro Pineda bats ninth in right field. If you think that lineup looks familiar, it is. Same 1 through 9 as last night. And that'll bring Miller up as Zach Fruit's on the mound.
Fruit making just his 9th start of the season. He began the season in Aberdeen and also spent a couple months on IL, just activated back for Chesapeake on July the 18th. And in his 9 starts, it's been a rough go. He's 0-4 with an 8.04 earned run average. In 31 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up 37 hits, 25 strikeouts, 21 walks.
So Aiden Miller waits to step in. Brief delay, but he is now in from the right side. Miller was hitless in last night's game, did walk, but it brought his 9-game hit streak to an end. Zach Fruit's first pitch home. Miller will take a sinker down, 1 ball and no strikes. Miller still riding a 10-game on-base streak. 254 hitter. This is 102nd game he's played this year with Reading. The 1-0. Miller swinging a miss. It's 1-1.
Really noticed this in the Akron series that the Rubber Ducks were going after Aiden Miller up high, and that was the swing and a miss on that pitch was up high.
Four-seam fastball at the knees, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that last one to Miller. Miller, the reigning Eastern League Player of the Week, hit .522 last week at Altoona. An OPS over 1,600. Drove in 7 runs as well. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Miller down on strikes. Sinker at 95 from Zach Fruit. That's out number 1. And let's meet the defense for the Baysox as Carson DeMartini comes up. Anderson plays first. Josenberger at second. Young plays short. Wagner at third. Trimble in right, Bradfield center, Overn in left. Retzbach is the catcher for Zach Fruit, tonight's starting pitcher. So Carson DeMartini will dig in from the left side. 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. First pitch home is a swing and a miss by DeMartini. It's 0-1. DeMartini 1 for 4 in last night's game. Also did strike out. And last night's ball game, 5-2 loss for the Fightin Phillies. And the lid lifter of this week's series between the teams, the 0-1, is swung on, lifted foul, and out of play to the left side. 5-pitch mix for Zach Fruit. 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, cutter, sweeper, changeup. One of his better outings of the year last week against Richmond. No earned runs over 4 1/3 innings. Struck out 4. 0-2, swing and a miss. DeMartini's down on strikes. Swings over top of a slider at 85 from Fruit. That's out number 2 in this first inning, and that'll bring Felix Reyes to the plate. Second straight night, Fightin Phils come out in their home red pinstripe uniforms. Fightin Phils across the front, red lettering and numbering on the back. Baysox come out in their alternate orange uniforms with Baysox across the front. Gray pants and a black cap. First pitch to Reyes, he'll swing and foul it back. It's 0-1. Reyes a couple of hits a night ago. Currently riding an 11-game hitting streak and a 13-game on-base streak. And overall, he's hitting .336 on the season. The 0-1. And that one is swung on and belted deep to left field. Over and turns, looks up, and it's gone. The leading hitter in the Eastern League gets himself home run number 13 of the season. A no-doubter to left that traveled 377 feet. 114 off the bat. And the Fightin Phils tie it up at 1.
Well, there's no doubt of what the story of 2025 in Baseball Town was from a performance standpoint. And that is the emergence of this young man and his bat. And that was your proverbial slider, middle, and Felix Reyes crushed it.
So that'll bring Caleb Ricketts to the plate for the Fightin Phils. That'll raise the already Eastern League best .336 batting average for Felix Reyes. First pitch to Ricketts is down the chute for a strike. It's 0-1. So Reyes right now entering play today is 30 points higher than second place in the Eastern League in terms of qualified batting average. And Reyes, right, we did the math pregame, qualifies by about 8 plate appearances right now. Misses outside 1-1. If Reyes finishes with the most or the highest batting average in the Eastern League, it'll be just the 5th time in Reading Phil's history. So since 1967 that a Fightin Phil has won an Eastern League batting crown. 1-1 swung on and missed by Ricketts 1-2. The last of which happened in 2010. The other half of the Arby's roast beef duo, Tag Bozide.
Living infamy here in Baseball Town if you've been here in a rain delay.
Also the last RFL to win a batting title. The 1-2, and that's down the chute for a called strike 3. Caleb Ricketts goes down on strikes. And ultimately, Zach Fruit strikes out the side, but it's a run on a hit. Felix Reyes is team leading at 13th home run of the season. Nobody left on base for the RFLs. We've played one. On to the second. Tied up at 1 apiece. International Fireworks is the official sponsor of the RFL's fireworks shows during the 2025 season. Head to their store at 242 Sycamore Road in Douglasville or visit fireworksrus.com. So top half of the second, teams traded a run each in the first inning. Chuck King back out for inning number 2 of work after allowing an unearned run in the top of the inning. And now it'll be Max Wagner, 6, 7, 8 due up in the inning here for the Baysox. Bit of a brief delay here as we wait for Wagner to step back in.
Something came from the
left field
bleachers. Felix Reyes
putting everything in left field
it's
tonight.
not the first thing he's put over the fence tonight. Hopefully not the last.
I'll take that. Speaking into existence, Bob. So Max Wagner took on 1 for 4 with a double last night. Digs in from the right side. And Chuck King's first pitch home is a bit outside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you say so.
I don't know. Home plate umpire tonight, Brendan Spivak, has balls and strikes. 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. And, I mean, 2 balls that we have up here are in the zone. That's just Chuck King getting squeezed early.
May have been a coincidence that the home plate umpire just looked towards the Fightin Phil's dugout. May have been a coincidence.
It's a 2-0. That one is a called strike. A little bit up. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Max Wagner. 75th game for Wagner this year, hitting .229. He's got 5 homers, 26 runs driven in. 2-1 home is swung on and missed, 2-2. Excellent cutter there from King to even up the count. Wagner was 1 for 3 against King back on July the 11th. He double drove in a run. Also was a strikeout victim, the 2-2, and he'll be a strikeout victim again. Swinging a miss over top of a changeup. 3rd punch out tonight for Chuck King. Out number 1 of the inning, and that'll bring Douglas Hodo up to the plate.
That's a heck of a turnabout for King. Obviously, he gave up that double to Bradfield to start the game, but again, they gave up the run, but it was a little tabber back to the mound, unfortunately, with the sun impacting all of that. But otherwise, Chuck King's been in control.
So
really
Hodo
keeping
digs
him off
in.
balance.
210 hitter on the season is Douglas Hodo. First pitch, he'll swing. And he'll slice it out of play down the right field line. It's 0-1. Talked about fireworks, thanks to our friends at International Fireworks coming out of the inning break. 3 straight nights of fireworks starting tomorrow night. Fireworks Thursday, fireworks Friday, Mega Blast fireworks on Saturday. 0-1 is a check swing that's tap foul down the first base side. It's 0-2. Saturday is a tribute to Mickey Mouse Night. Can you do a good Mickey impression, Bob?
No.
Have you ever tried to? Do you want to give it a shot?
No, not at all.
What about off the air?
Probably not.
0-2. Swung on a ground ball foul. It stays no balls and 2 strikes.
Maybe if I step on a sharp object, burn a finger, maybe it might get to that octave. I'm not sure.
0-2. The count stays to Douglas Hodo.
I hear the skipper's excited about it.
Sure he is. Fightin Phillies will wear special Mickey Mouse-inspired uniforms on Saturday night against the Baysox. That's a 6:45 first pitch between the 2 sides. 0-2. And Hodo takes the changeup inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
Mike Keller asked him this morning if he was a big Mickey Mouse fan. He said no. And I would not have bet the house on the answer that a cartoon loving was Popeye.
He did say Popeye.
He said Popeye. I would not have expected that. I don't know why. I just wouldn't.
1-2. Another swing and a miss. And in front of a slider at 81 is Douglas Hodo. Already the 4th strikeout tonight for Chuck King. 2 outs here in the top of the 2nd inning. Tavian Josenberger is the batter here in a 1-1 ball game. Always a fun time to be in the WEEU studios. Myself, Al Padrique were there. Of course, Mike Keller and Bob McCool, but that's a given most days. Matt Jackson from Classic Harley Davidson.
It's a cast of thousands in this one. Good thing we expand. That studio's bigger. Well, it's not bigger. It's just more space in it.
First pitch to Josenberger, swung on and popped out of play, foul. It's 0-1. Little rendition to take me out to the ball game.
Yes, we had a sing-off. Well, that was the idea, but we just did a duet.
Yeah,
instead.
it was a duet, which I like that idea
Yeah.
better. We're coming up on time. It was like 8:56.
Yeah. It was like Sinatra and Dean Martin reincarnate. Matt Jackson, Jake Starr.
Here's the 0-1. Misses it outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Anyone wants to re-listen to that interview, Bob, anywhere they can find it?
They can. It's available on a podcast, Mornings with Mike, on 8:30 a.m. on 830weu.com. You can find it there. And
if you're listening to this broadcast right now, you might be on 830weu.com already.
Right.
Pitch misses outside. It's 2-1.
So it should be too hard to find. It's on the main page. On the home page, there is a drop-down box for podcasts. It's right there. All the shows are there.
194 hitter is Tavian Josenberger on the season. A 2-1 to him. is a fastball at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josenberger.
There'll be a podcast on there as well that you'll be listening to this weekend, I'm sure.
I'm sure I will be.
Nittany Extra is one of Jake's mentors. Steve Jones will be our guest on Nittany Extra.
2-2 is down, 3-2. Steve Jones, of course, the voice of Penn State football. Had him for COM 477, I believe.
So you
Sports
had it for
broadcasting.
one class?
One class.
Is that the only class he teaches?
I believe
at
that's
Penn
the only
State?
class he teaches at Penn State.
Makes sense that would be the
And it's a sports play-by-play class.
makes sense that if he's going to teach a class, that's the class.
3-2, 2 outs, payoff pitch. On the outside corner, called strike 3. 5 strikeouts already tonight for King, who punches out the side here in the second. We've played 1.5. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. Fightin, Phillies, and Baysox knotted up at 1 apiece. Back here, bottom half of the second inning, Crazy Hot Dog Vendor's doing his thing. We're trying to lure him with the net.
He's out throwing the competition. He's throwing it so far up, he's throwing it past the seats.
Exactly.
I mean, the people aren't sitting high enough for his arm.
He gave us one shot, and
He
it
did.
fell plenty short, so we'll have to give it another shot tomorrow night. But we go to the bottom half of the second inning, and it's brought to you by Cornwall Manor, an active senior living, not-for-profit community in scenic Cornwall, PA, outside of Lebanon. 1-1 is our score in this bottom half of the second inning. Zach Fruit back out for another inning of work for the Baysox. Struck out the side of the first. Lone blemish, Joe, was a big one. Solo home run hit by Felix Reyes, his 13th home run of the season. And that'll bring Jose Rodriguez up to the plate to lead off the frame for the Fightin' Phillies. And the first pitch to him is taken outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Rodriguez back to a more normal spot tonight. Second base for the 24-year-old Jose Rodriguez. 1-0. Swung on and lifted into the air, out towards shallow right. Trimble, the right fielder, coasts in, makes the catch. That's out number 1. That'll bring Alex Pinellas to the plate. Yeah, so Rodriguez made his first career start in the outfield last night. Played center field. Made a couple of nice plays, including a running catch early on in Tuesday night's ball game. I saw him getting some work in, I think it was either Friday or Saturday last week in Altoona in center field, and kind of raised some eyebrows like, yeah, that's interesting. Wonder if I'll see an 8 next to him on the lineup card, and alas, we did. First pitch to Pinellas was a called strike. It's 0-1. 0-1 home is spit outside. It's 1-1. Also, one update on the scoring side of things. The hit has been taken away from Adam Retzbach from the first, so it's going to be an E3. So it's not an error on Chuck King. It's going to be on Pinellas, the batter. 2 balls, 1 strike now. So E3.
And no RBI.
No RBI. And the run was already unearned,
Right.
but now just takes a hit away from the line of Chuck King. So Baysox just 1 hit tonight. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch out. Swing and a miss by Pinellas. It's 2-2. A lot of life on that fastball from Zach Fruit tonight. 54th game for Pinellas. He's a .271 hitter on the season. 2-2. Pinellas swings and he fouls it. Did you know that there is a bit of a connection between Aiden Miller's 50th stolen base and Alex Spinellis. It's a very 3 or 6 degrees of separation type thing, but there is a connection that we can draw between the two. The 2-2, swinging a foul ball. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Aiden Miller stole his 50th base of the season last night. The last time an Eastern League player stole 50 bases in a season was Portland's David Hamilton in 2022. David Hamilton, get back to that in a second, the 2-2. Swung on a ground ball through the whole right side. That'll be a base hit for Alex Spinellis. So 1-out single for him as Dylan Campbell comes up. So David Hamilton was involved in the trade with Alex Spinellis. So went from the Brewers to the Red Sox. So it was Jackie Bradley Jr., Alex Spinellis, and David Hamilton that went to the Red Sox from the Brewers in the deal that sent Hunter Renfroe to the Brewers after the 2021 season. So
was Spinellis a teammate of Hamilton?
I have to think at some point they were teammates.
So he's a teammate of both. Of the most recent 50 base stealers in the Eastern League.
And the first pitch to Dylan Campbell is taken upstairs for a ball. Hamilton played 119 games for the Portland Sea Dogs in 2022. Next pitch to Campbell is a slow roller up the third base line, foul. It's 1-1. Alex Spinellis played 55 games for Portland in 2022. So mathematically, yes, they had to have been teammates that year. So Alex Spinellis has been teammates with the last 2 guys in the Eastern League to steal 50 bases.
That ties that bind a little tighter now that they've been a teammate of both of them. Not just that they were involved in a trade in which he was there, but he was actual teammate of both.
1-1. Campbell swings and he pops it up. It was in on the hands. It's in the infield. Behind the pitcher's mound, it's the first baseman Anderson who makes the catch. That'll be out number 2 and bring Nick Dunn to the plate for the Fightin' Phils. So 2 outs, bottom half of the second inning. 1-1 our score between the two sides. Nick Dunn, a .266 hitter, digs in from the left side as Spinellis leads off of first. And the first pitch is a called strike. It's 0-1. Ready at the letters is Zach Fruit. Deals home. Misses a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dunn 1 for 4 last night. Had a double. Hitting 176 against the Baysox this year. Does have a couple of home runs when the teams played down in Bowie back in July. And the 1-1 misses down. Good block by the catcher, Retzbach, and it's 2-1. Dunn, a veteran, traded from the Mariners to the Phillies back in June. Cash considerations went back to Seattle. The oft-moved cash considerations. 2-1. Dunn takes it down 3-1. I guess you could say the well-traveled cash considerations. Three balls, 1 strike here to Nick Dunn. Pinellas gets his lead off of first, so 2 outs here in the inning. And the pitch home. And that's outside ball 4. So first walk issued tonight by Zach Fruit. And it puts men on first and second with 2 outs. Leandro Pineda will step up for the Phils. And here in a 1-1 ball game, we'll see the Fightin' Phils and get a big 2-out hit from their 9-hitter here and try to take the lead. Pineda in from the left side, 218 hitter on this season. This is 97th game he's played. And the first pitch is up and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Through 31 1/3 innings this year, entering play tonight, Fruit 21 walks, 25 strikeouts. So nearly a 50-50 split between walks and strikeouts this year for Zach Fruit. Here's the 1-0. That one is bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Pineda.
Yeah, you wouldn't call either of these two pitchers a strikeout artist by any stretch of the imagination. Yet Fruit struck out the side in the first, and King not only struck out the side in the second, but has struck out 5 of the 6 batters he's retired so far.
Runners get their leads. 2-0 pitch. And Pineda swings and he pops it up. Towards shallow left. Coming in is Over on the left fielder, who lost his hat, but he tracks it down to make the catch, and that'll retire the side in the second. No runs, a hit, and 2 left for the Fightin' Phils. We will head to the third. 1-1 ball game between Reading and Chesapeake. Us here at the Fightin' Phils want to thank our good friends at Pepsi for presenting the 2025 season here in Baseball Town. Go Fightin' Phils and drink more Pepsi. 1-1 ball game, top half of the third inning. Chuck King back out as well. Already 1 strikeout shy of matching his season and career high. 6 strikeouts, so if it would be just the second time he's done it this year. The other time he did it, July the 11th at Chesapeake.
How about that?
So it'll be 9-1-2 of the Baysox lineup will face. 38 pitches through 2 innings for Chuck King tonight. And Carter Young, who did not play in last night's game, will dig in from the left side to get this frame started. First one home is a bit outside, 1-0. 48th game of the year for Carter Young. He's a 153 hitter, pair of home runs, 14 driven in. Slugging just 204 on the year as well. 1-0 is swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Young 9 for 36. That's a 250 average on the Baysox 2-week homestand. Last couple of weeks in Bowie, a double, couple of RBI. Struck out 13 times, though, during that homestand. 1-1, he squares the bunt, pulls it back, pitches right there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Young spent a couple of weeks with Norfolk, hit .333 over 8 games with the Tides from July 29th to August the 7th. 1-2, swing and a miss, struck him out. And Chuck King has already matched a season and career high in strikeouts with 6. And he's done it in just 1 turn through the lineup through 2 1/3 innings pitch. And that'll bring the center fielder Enrique Bradfield Jr. to the plate.
Well, I think that whole hiccup at first base either made Chuck King mad or just refocused him somehow or another, because he's been brilliant ever since.
He has struck out 4 straight since the start of the second inning. And Bradfield has the only hit tonight for the Baysox, double back in the first. First pitch is a changeup that misses down and into the lefty. It's 1-0. Bradfield came around to score a run. It was not an earned run, because he reached on the miscatch error by Alex Spinellis at first base. That has also been changed to a miscatch error. 1-0, bit outside, 2 balls, no strikes. So hit the red spot was taken away. Error from King was switched to an error for Spinellis. So it's a 2-base error, and the error that allowed Bradfield to score with 2 outs in the inning. 2-0 home. At the knees for a called strike, 2-1. Good spot there from Chuck King. Bradfield has missed 53 games this year between hamstring injuries in both of his legs. 2-1. Swinging a foul ball. It's 2-2. Goes right into the Phillies dugout. Looks like everyone is okay. Like Louis Albrecht is the one who made the play in the dugout. Albrecht, who is Redding's backup catcher tonight, after a roster move made a little bit earlier today. The 2-2 swung on and lifted into the air, shallow center. Miller out. Campbell, the center fielder, is in, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 2. Austin Overn comes up. Paul McIntosh, who has been with Redding since the start of the season, promoted to AAA Lehigh Valley. Joined the team all the way out in Omaha. Usually it's not too far of a drive, but pretty sure that's a flight halfway across the country to Omaha, Nebraska, where the Iron Pigs take on the Storm Chasers this week. 2 outs here for Overn, top of the third, 1-1 ball game. Pitch home, and that is bit outside for a ball. It's 1-0. So congratulations to McIntosh on his promotion to AAA Lehigh Valley. Next pitch is bit down, 2-0. McIntosh, the Phillies acquired in the Jesus Luzardo trade. Luzardo pitched for the Phillies last night, and what was a 6-5 loss up at Citi Field in Queens. Team's back in action right now. 2-0, there for a strike, 2-1. Big Phil's looking to avoid the sweep. And look, if you can just get out of there with 1 win, you'll leave a 6-game lead. At this point, you'll take it. Just salvage the series somehow.
Yeah, I mean, they play 4 in Philly in 2 weeks. September 8th is the start of that series.
8th to the 11th.
Correct.
2-1 is swung on and lifted into the air, foul to the left side and out of play. It's 2-2.
And it's my contention with a 7-game lead when it all began. If you even go 3 and 4 in the out of that, you're still in a great spot.
You lose 1 game.
Correct. I mean, and again, the Mets were spitting oil coming into the series. It's just when they play the Phillies in New York, there's a different level of confidence in the Mets.
2-2. Swinging a roller towards second. 3 hops for charging Jose Rodriguez. Fires the first. It's in time. And Chuck King has retired 7 straight. As the Baysox are down in order again in the third. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on base. We'll head to the home half of the third. 1-1 is our score. This inning is brought to you by Swartz Kulitz in PC. You can expect reliable and experienced attorneys who are committed to getting you justice after a serious personal injury. Call Swartz Kulitz today at 1-800-JUSTICE. So bottom half of the third inning, 1-1 is our score on an early fall-like night here on August the 27th. Temperatures sitting in the upper 60s right now as the sun sets. See a couple of sweatshirts and jackets going on in the crowd in front of us. And Redding will send top of the order to the plate here in the inning. Aiden Miller, who struck out his first time up, will lead off as Zach Fruit's back out for inning number 3 of work. First pitch home to Miller is inside, almost hit him. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Miller, 253. Highest his average has been at any point this year. after he's having a red-hot month of August. Next pitch, Miller will take it outside, 2-0. Over 21 August games so far. Miller, a 365 hitter. An OPS over an 1100. 2-0 is taken at the knees for a strike. It's 2-1. Miller, the 21-year-old, Phillies number 2 overall prospect. First round pick in 2023. And the 2-1 to him is taken down at the feet. 3 balls and 1 strike. He's tied for second in the Eastern League in total walks. 63 in total. He's got himself in a hitter's count here, 3-1. Fruits ready at the letters, fires home, and Miller will take that inside. That is ball 4. So Aiden Miller gets the job done, picks up another walk, his 64th of the year, puts him alone in second base in that category. Second walk tonight for Zach Fruit, and that'll bring Carson DeMartini to the plate.
And again, as Jake said, the batting average for Aiden Miller is at a season high right now, but it's still obviously a little bit less than I'm sure Aiden Miller would think. But he, throughout this season, has been able to get himself on base. That's the reason why he has the stolen base count that he does.
First pitch to DeMartini is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. So Miller leads off first, 50 for 60 in stolen bases this year. Picked up number 50 last night. Became the first Phil since 1987 to steal 50 in a season. They'll throw over. Miller back in. So right now, Miller is tied for 7th for stolen bases in a single season in Phil's history. Next stolen base will put him alone in 7th. The next up is David Mann, who had 53 in 1987. Next pitch is swung on and missed. It's 1-1. 1957, excuse me, from David Mann. That even predates the Reading Phils era.
It has to be a Reading Indians.
Would be. Ball and a strike here to Carson DeMartini. The pitch home, bit outside. It's 2-1. DeMartini 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. His only time up tonight. 1 for 5. Couple of strikeouts so far tonight for the 22-year-old.
That lead looks good big now for Miller.
2 1s down and in, 3-1.
Would have thought for sure he was going on that pitch, but.
And I see the stopwatch is out from Michael Jones at third, Carl Ellison at first. Now Ellison invoking some words on Miller, so we'll see if he's in motion here on the 3-1 count. Fruit's ready. Miller does not go. DeMartini swings line drive towards right, and it falls right into the glove of Trimble as it hung up for him. So well struck ball from DeMartini, but it is out number 1. And that'll bring Felix Reyes to the plate, who homered his last time up.
Yeah, just unfortunate for DeMartini. Hit it too hard because off the bat that looked like it's going to be a base hit. But Miller started it and then stopped, and it's good thing he did because the ball obviously did hang up for Trimble in right field. But off the bat, that looks like that's a line drive into right field, and with Miller's speed, you got first and third.
First pitch to Felix Reyes, a check swing. If the pitch is a ball, they appeal to first, and no swing is said by first base umpire Tatum Littleton. So it's 1 ball and no strikes to Reyes. 338. Felix Reyes got 13 home runs, 49 runs driven in. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. So Reyes up to a 12-game hitting streak, a 14-game on base streak. He has just been on another planet in August and really the entire month. Miller dives back in the first as they checked on him. 392 hitter in August, an OPS at right 1,000. 21 runs, 13 doubles, 3 homers, 23 runs driven in. 1-1 is taken outside. Reyes able to check again, and Tatum Littleton says he held up, so it's 2-1. This is a guy, Felix Reyes, there was not a roster spot for him coming out of spring training. Stayed down to the complex until a spot opened up, and it was in Reading. And he has run away with that opportunity. 2-1 is another check swing. This time, Reyes does make contact for it and fouls it down the right field line.
Yeah, I asked Al about that this morning, and it was a very interesting answer he gave, which is, as Jake said, there was no spot for him. And, like, you need to kind of take that as a reality check, dude. Like, right now we can't find a place to put you roster-wise. And he did. He took it personal, got himself in better shape, and ultimately the spot opened up in Reading, and he has taken every advantage of it in 2025.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and Ray is down on strikes. It's the first strikeout for Fruit since the first inning, 4th overall. 2 outs, and that'll bring Caleb Ricketts, the catcher, to the plate. So 2 outs, bottom 3, Fightin Phillies and Baysox tied up at 1 apiece. And the pitch to Ricketts is down 1-0. Ricketts able to pick up a hit in his last at-bat last night. He was 1 for 3 of a walk in total. And he was able to extend his hitting streak to 14 games. Longest hit streak since 2023. Carlos De La Cruz had a 15-gamer from May to June. May 23rd to June the 9th of 2023 to be exact. And Ricketts' hit streak is the longest since then. Now he's going to try to match it. So ball no strikes to the 25-year-old catcher. Pitch on. Miller does take off. And the pitch is swung on and chopped to the right side. Couple of hops for the second baseman, Josenberger. Gobbles it up, fires to first. It's in time. That'll retire the side in the 3rd. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left on base for the Fightin Phillies. We will head to the 4th inning. 1-1 is our score. We go to the top half of the 4th inning. 1-1 is our score. Chuck King back on the mound. And to take over in the play-by-play, it's my broadcast partner, Bob McCool.
Well, both teams scored a run in the 1st inning. Pitchers have taken over from that point forward. Chuck King and Zach Fruit getting the job done so far as the Baysox come to the plate here in the top half of the 4th inning. Remind you that every Tuesday, and when I say every Tuesday, I mean only one more Tuesday, active military and veterans receive $3 off box seats thanks to Burke's Oral Surgery and Dental Implant Center. Yes, only one more Tuesday left on the schedule. Only one more of a Wednesday left on the schedule after tonight as well. The Phils will be back home here for the final week of the season, final homestand of the season. Back on starting on September 9th, but that is an 11 a.m. first pitch game, and that'll be the final Tuesday of the season. As Reed Trimble leads off. Trimble had the big night last night for the Baysox. Struck out his first time up tonight against King and swings at King's first offering here and fouls it out of play. Trimble at 240 on the season. It is 8th home run last night. It is his 9th home run last night. I was right the first time. It was his 8th home run last night. He had his 7th double last night as well. And drove in 3. And the 1-1 pitch is down low. It's now 2 balls and a strike to the switch hitting Reed Trimble. King, the 27-year-old righty, delivers. And Trimble, slow roller down the first base line, but foul. Calvin Christensen, the first base coach for the Baysox, with their manager Roberto Mercado in the third base coaching box. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trimble, to be followed by Adam Retzbach and then Ethan Anderson in his top half of the 4th inning for Chesapeake. This one hit hard down the first base line, but it's also foul. So a slow roller and then a hard hit ball, but both fouls as Pineda has to go run it down in the corner. The The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's over for a called strike 3. Trimble did not think so, but he is a strikeout victim for the 2nd time tonight. And the 7th strikeout now for Chuck King. And 1 out here in the 4th inning.
And that is a new season and career high in strikeouts for Chuck King, was 7th here in the 4th, and he is looking good early.
So I'll bring up Adam Retzbach. Retzbach had the little tapper out in front of the mound as he swings and fouls the first pitch straight back to the backstop. King fielded it, tossed it to Alex Binelas covering at first. Binelas, blinded by the light, could not see the ball. It went away from him and rolled down the line, which allowed Enrique Bradfield to score with the Baysox lone run. It was eventually an error. This one will be a broken bat single into left center field. Dylan Campbell will cut it off to hold Retzbach to a base hit. So he's on board for the 2nd time in the ball game. And at that time, they're not going to take a hit away from him. That's going to be a single, and the 2nd hit for Chesapeake in this game, a 1-out single for Retzbach.
Yeah, can't take that hit away from him, as you said. You lose the bat,
Yeah,
but
you take the bat away from me because I don't want that one anymore. As Ethan Anderson now will bat. Anderson out on a slow roller in the infield, and a nice play by Carson DiMartini for the final out of the 1st inning. And big swing, no contact from Anderson. Anderson, like Trimble, also a switch hitter. So with the right-hander Chuck King on the mound, with the 2 switch hitters, 5 different Baysox batting from the left side against King. 0-1 pitch, over for a called strike 2. King continuing to fill up the strike zone with either the cutter that he just threw there, mixing in the fastball and the change. And he's ahead of Ethan Anderson, no balls and 2 strikes. And misses down low. It's 1-2. Well, the Mets have struck first again in Citi Field. I should say again, the Phillies have scored first in these first 2 games of this series. Francisco Lindor with a base hit again off Taijuan Walker to drive in a run, and Mets still batting in the bottom of the 3rd. They lead at 1-0. So maybe that's the reverse of fortunes. Mets have come back in both games so far in this series, so maybe this time it's the Phillies' turn. It's Taijuan Walker trying to get out of any further trouble in the bottom of the 3rd in Game 3 in that series in which the Mets have taken Game 1 and 2. 1-2 is the count here on Ethan Anderson as time called till Leandro Pineda can get back into position to right field. Pitch to plate, fouled down the 3rd base line this time and out of play as Anderson stays alive. Pitch count now for Chuck King at 65. With 1 out here in the inning. There's a slow roller right side. Binelas will scoop it up. They'll need Chuck King to cover, and they just get there ahead of Anderson. It was kind of in the Bermuda Triangle between Rodriguez at second, Binelas the first baseman, King the pitcher, and eventually Binelas needed King, and he just beat Anderson to the bag for out number 2.
Yeah, that was a bit of a heart-stopping play there for a moment, but it's a good job by Chuck King. I mean, he gives it his all the time, and busting it to get over there.
So on the play, Retzbach moves up to second on the fielder's choice. Now bring Max Wagner to the plate. Wagner, strikeout victim, his first time up. He had 2 hits in last night's game, including a double. And the first pitch to him here is a called strike. Wagner, 229 on the season. Runner in scoring position for him. He's got 26 RBIs on the year. 1-1 our score, top half of the 4th. King looks back to second, comes to the plate. 0-1 is over for a called strike on the inside corner. Wagner doesn't think so. No balls and 2 strikes to the right-hand hitter. 0-2. Way inside, had to jump out of the way of it. It's 1-2. Retzbach, the runner at second base, takes his lead. King takes a look back and now comes to the plate but misses way outside with the fastball. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. King, undrafted out of TCU in 2024, finds his way to the Phillies organization. Last year with Jersey Shore as a reliever, here in Reading as a starter in 2025. As he bounces that one up there, good block by Ricketts. Keeps Retzbach at second base, but now the count has gone full on Max Wagner. So King trying to get out of this minor predicament here in the 4th. And a foul straight back as Wagner stays alive. Better job by Chesapeake in this inning of fouling pitches off and making Chuck King run that pitch count up a little bit. So even though he's been pretty solid in this game, the pitch count is now at 72 with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. So hard pressed to believe that King will be able to get past 5, even if as good as he's been. Try again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he misses outside, ball 4. First walk given up by King tonight. Puts 2 on now with 2 outs.
Yeah, first walk by King, and I mean, you'd say 1 walk, you'd be a little surprised. You know, pitch count's up at 73, but like you said, the Baysox just done a great job working the count tonight. Lots of long at-bats by these Chesapeake hitters. And, you know, look, if you can get this out here with Hodo, get 1 more inning out of King, and then you kind of go from there.
Fightin Phil's pitchers only walked 1 last night, and it was a walk by Andrew Baker in the 9th inning. First walk given up tonight by the Phils and Chuck King. As the first pitch swinging is Douglas Hodo. He comes up empty. Hodo struck out as well back in that 2nd inning when King struck out the side. Hodo now 1 for 5 in the series with a double last night. King with 2 on, 2 out. 0-1 pitch. He's over for a called strike 2. So again, he gets ahead of the hitter. He got ahead of Wagner, but ultimately lost him. Now he's ahead of Hodo, no balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and King does indeed get out of trouble with another strikeout, his 8th of the game for the Baysox in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 1, Fightins and Baysox. Klein Transportation is proud to be the official transportation provider of the Reading Fightin Phils. Klein Transportation gets the R Phils do all their road trips throughout the 2025 season. For more information, go to kleintransportation.com. Zach Fruit back out on the mound for the Baysox. A run on 2 hits, no errors for Chesapeake. A run on 2 hits and 1 error for the Fightin Phillies. Jose Rodriguez will lead it off for Reading, to be followed by Alex Pinellas and then Dylan Campbell. That's 5, 6, and 7 in Al Patrique's lineup in tonight's ball game. Skipper in the dugout tonight with Michael Jones at third base. And the first pitch to Jose Rodriguez over for a called strike 1. Rodriguez flew out to right field his first time up. And stepped in the bucket on that one and pulled way out on it and opened up and missed it. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to Rodriguez. Carl Ellison coaching at first base, by the way, with Michael Jones at third base tonight. So no balls and 2 strikes to Rodriguez, leading off the 4th. And that's in the dirt. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rodriguez at 306 on his on-again, off-again season here in 2025. He did not begin the season as an active player, was suspended last year for a 1-year suspension. 1-2 pitch. And it's over for a call. Strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Fruits is out number 1 here in the 4th. That'll bring up Pinellas. Pinellas with 1 of the 2 hits for the Phils on the night so far. He singled to right field his first time up. And the first pitch to him here is down low for a ball. And that's up high again. It's 2-0. Pinellas, 25 years of age. He's given really the Phils a steadying influence since being picked up off of waivers after being released by the Boston Red Sox organization. Came on initially playing third, then once Carson DiMartini was promoted to Reading, he kind of found his new home at first base. Had Keaton Anthony promoted to Lehigh Valley pretty much all at the same time as Pinellas swings and misses at this pitch. So now it's 2 balls and a strike to the left-hand hitting Alex Pinellas. Try to get out of the way of it and check his swing all at the same time and hit the bat. Tapped it harmlessly foul. So it's still 2-2. Taijuan Walker finally able to get out of the bottom of the 3rd, but after the Mets put 3 runs up, there's a broken bat roller towards second. Josenberger has it, and that'll be out number 2 here in the 4th inning. Dylan Campbell now will come up. And with the exception of the double by Brett Bradenfield to lead off the ball game and the Felix Reyes home run, there's been a lot of soft contact in this game. For a pitcher in Fruit with an 8+ earned run average when this began, and Chuck King with a almost 4.5 earned run average when this game began. They have looked really, really strong. And the first pitch to Dylan Campbell is over in the outside corner for a called strike. Campbell in a bit of a scuffle of late, hitting at 223. And up and in on him here to make the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Struck out all 4 times he was up last night. Infield pop-up in his only plate appearance so far tonight. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nolan McLean, by the way, is the pitcher who's starting for the Mets tonight. Nolan McLean we saw earlier this year playing for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. And was quickly promoted to Norfolk, the AAA team. 1-1 pitch is lifted foul and out of play. And we talked about it when we had the opportunity to see Nolan McLean this year. The interesting story of him was he was trying to be a two-way player, was playing mostly as he played as a designated hitter when he batted. And the Mets eventually kind of convinced him and convinced themselves to give up on the offensive side of it, have him focus on pitching. And when he did that, he took off. 1-2 pitch is fouled away again by Campbell. And that definitely was the spark that lit the fire for Nolan McLean, because he became a much better pitcher after he gave up trying to hit as well. And it didn't take long for him to move up to AAA and now eventually to the major leagues. I believe this is his third career start since being promoted. And a swing and a miss, and Campbell goes down swinging again. Strikeout number 6 for Zach Fruit is the third and final out as the Phils go in order here in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We are through 4, and we are tied at 1 in Reading. We head to the 5th. Chuck King back to work for the Fightin Phils in a 1-1 tie. King to face Tavion Josenberger, Carter Young, and then the top of the order in Enrique Bradfield for the Baysox here in the 5th. Each team with 1 run, each team with 2 hits so far. But King with 8 strikeouts. He's walked just 1, and that was last inning. Josenberger was a strikeout victim his first time up. And the first pitch to him here is down a bit low for a ball. Didn't miss by much. And that one's on the outside corner. The count's now even at 1-1. Third pitch of the at-bat is up and in. It's 2 balls and a strike. Josenberger at just 194 on the season before the game began. 4 home runs and 19 RBIs. 2-1 pitch to the left-hand hitter. It's lifted into center field. Campbell going back. He'll have room, not yet to the track, and makes the catch for out number 1. That brings up Carter Young. Young also a strikeout victim his first time up. Young playing at shortstop tonight. Did not start in last night's game. Brandon Butterworth got the start in last night's game at shortstop and had an impact in the game as well with a couple hits and a couple RBIs. Not in the lineup tonight. Carter Young gets the start. And the first pitch to him is a bit low for a ball. Young, 24-year-old shortstop from Yakima, Washington, played his college baseball at Vanderbilt. 1-0 pitch to him is inside. It's 2-0. Drafted by the Orioles in 2022 from the Commodores in the 17th round. Pitch is outside. It's 3-0 as King frustrated with himself. They're falling behind the 9-hole hitter. 3 balls and no strikes. that's there for a called strike. Makes it 3-1, pretty much right down the middle. Young taking all the way. Three-one pitch is outside, ball 4. So Young walks King's second free pass of the night. And that puts a runner at first base with 1 out and flips the lineup around now to Enrique Bradfield. Bradfield doubled to start the ball game, came around to score the run for the Baysox in that first inning. Flew out to center field his second at bat. The double, the 11th of the year for Enrique Bradfield. First pitch to him here is there for a called strike 1. Scouts said that Bradfield will definitely hit for average. The power is not going to be a factor in his game. It's about speed and defense. Very good center fielder as well. Very good outfielder. 0-1 pitch coming his way here. And that's over for a called strike 2. Again, the hitter in the on-deck circle, Austin Overn, both similar style players, good speed, left-handed hitters. Both can play center field. And obviously, with only one of them being able to play there per night, so far it's been Bradfield in center both nights in this series. As the pitch from King misses away, it's 1-2. Overn played in right field last night. He's in left field tonight. Young takes his lead off of first base. 1 out in the inning and 1-2 to Enrique Bradfield. And he bounces it up there.
89 pitches for King. Action has started in the Fightin Phillies bullpen. Aberson Castellano is beginning the throw.
So it would appear that unless this inning spirals out of his control, that Chuck King will give what his manager was hoping for, is to give him a 5-inning effort tonight. He's got 1 out in the 5th, 2-2 the count, and just misses to Bradfield. Long look in from Chuck King as the pitch just missed inside. It's 3-2. No indication from Young that he might be going anywhere as of yet. Now he takes off on 3-2 and back to the middle, and it's into center field for a base hit. Young thought about rounding second, but ultimately decides not to. Campbell was not deep in center field and got on it quickly. So Young stays at second. Bradfield with his second hit of the night. Runners at first and second and 1 out, and Austin Overn at the plate.
Hit and run ran nearly to perfection there, but just a little bit too hot coming in on Campbell in center. So Carter Young forced to stop at second. So look, you still got the double play in order, but King at 91 pitches here with the middle of the lineup coming up.
And a pretty difficult guy to double up here in Overn. Brad Bergeson, the pitching coach for the Fightin Phils, is going to come out to have a conversation with King. Might be a little bit of a stall tactic as well to make sure that Castellano can get loose in the bullpen in the event that King gets himself in any further trouble. That Castellano is loose and ready to come in.
Yeah, probably a mix of both. Settle King down some and give Castellano some time to throw. Probably, 1 or 2 more batters left. Maybe the righty Retzbach, because you go righty switch hitter, righty. I mean, King's also a righty, but just trying to think of, a spot that would make sense for Castellano to come in.
And also, I think to your point about settling him down a little bit, Chuck King was mad at himself for walking Young on 5 pitches. The ball 3 and ball 4, he was kind of putting the glove over his face and yelling it. And it wasn't at the umpire, it was at himself. He wasn't what he felt that the ump missed it. He just mad at himself for missing the strike zone and walking the 9-hole hitter. So he's got himself a little bit of a jam now. First and second, 1 out and over in the hitter. And the first pitch to him is over for a called strike. Again, very difficult guy to double up. And also have to be cognizant of the fact that he might try to drop a bunt here. Carson DeMartini up a little bit from even with the bag at third as King bounces that one up there. Good block by Ricketts. Miller kind of cheating over towards second base to keep Young close, which really opens up that 5-hole. As DeMartini's up even with the grass on the cutout in the event that Overn might think about dropping a bunt down. And Miller cheating towards the second base back. That shortstop hole is big right now. 1-1 pitch, and Overn opens up on it and swings over the top of it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So see if he doesn't try and shorten up on this swing here a little bit. Put the ball in play at 1-2, 1 out. Takes it outside to even the count at 2-2.
Next pitch for King will be number 96, which will match a season high for him. August 9th in New Hampshire through 96.
Here is that 96th pitch. Right back through the middle. That's into center field for a base hit. They're going to wave Young around. Campbell up with it. His throw to the plate is not in time. Throw down to second base is also not in time. Both runners move up on the throw home. So a run scored. The Baysox are back up on top, and 2 more in scoring position.
Got to think that's going to be the end of the night for Chuck King, and it is. Al Padriquez coming out, so King will exit with the Fightin Phils down by 1 and 2 on, and Aberson Castellano is going to try to keep the damage to where it's at.
So the Alvernia University Golden Wolves call the bullpen made for the first time with 1 out here in the 5th inning and a run across. We'll fill you in with more when we come back on Ready Fightin Phils Radio Network. Well, unfortunately for Chuck King, it kind of spirals out of control here in this 5th inning to some degree, and so on now to try to end it in this 5th is the new pitcher for the Fightin Phils, right-hander Aberson Castellano.
15th outing of the year for Castellano. Has made 1 start. 4-2, a 5.33 ERA. 27 innings pitched, 27 hits allowed, 2 of which have been home runs, 11 walks, 27 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .257 against Aberson Castellano this season.
So he enters himself into a bit of a sticky situation. A run across and 2 runners in scoring position for Chesapeake after the single for Austin Overn. And on the throw home, Enrique Bradfield move up to 3rd and Overn move up to 2nd. So those 2 are both in scoring position, again with outstanding speed. And Reed Trimble will bat. Trimble, who had 3 RBIs in last night's game, 2 runners in scoring position. He struck out in both of his plate appearances so far tonight. Infield up for the Phils, trying to cut off any further damage. Go-ahead run already across for Chesapeake so far in this inning, and a big swing by Trimble. He fouls it weakly towards the Fightin Phils dugout. So a very promising start for Chuck King. Unfortunately, runs out of gas here in the 5th. Now hoping his teammate can bail him out. 1 balls and a strike to Trimble. Just misses outside. It's 1-1. A walk and a couple hits in this inning for Chesapeake. And again, only 1 out. Castellanos delivers. Trimble takes it up and away. It's 2-1. Adam Retzbach in the on-deck circle for the Baysox. Two-one pitch. Up and away again. It's 3-1. Pretty much the same spot as the last one. There is a base open here, but that's clearly not the intention of Castellano. Trimble with 2 hits last night to go along with those 3 RBIs. So far tonight, he struck out in both plate appearances. 3-1. Same spot. 3 in a row, up and away to Trimble, so he now walks to load the bases. Well, should allow the infield to go back, I would imagine.
I was going to say, if there's a silver lining to the walk there of Retzbach, it's that it allows the infield to move back and put yourself in a double play situation. Also, pretty unfamiliar territory for Castellano. He's only inherited 1 runner in total all season. So definitely this is the dirtiest inning that he has definitely inherited so far this year.
Unfortunately, it's gotten a little dirtier now with the bases loaded, but Retzbach with a big swing comes up empty. Retzbach went on base twice in this game. Safe on an error and a little comebacker in the first inning to the mound, and then singled his last time up. So Castellano gets ahead of him, no balls and a strike. Aces loaded, 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Again, way outside. It's 1-1. Bradfield's 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him reaching. It's 1-2. Fastball on the outside corner that Trimble kind of lunged at. So Castellano right now has him where he wants him. See if he can put him away. Gets away from Ricketts. It's going to roll over the backstop, and everybody's going to move up. So another run scores as Bradfield comes across on the wild pitch. Over into third. Trimble moves up to second base. And the count now 2-2 on Retzbach. Infield now back up. So that takes the double play out of the equation. 2-2. Curveball and a good one. He locked him up. Strike 3. Retzbach goes down looking. Second out in the inning.
That was a really good curveball. Kind of like it was up, and it kind of snapped and broke at that last second. So a really good curveball there from Castellano. Completely froze Retzbach.
So that'll bring up Ethan Anderson. And now the infield again can go back with 2 outs in the inning. Anderson with a couple of infield groundouts, 1 on the left side, 1 on the right in his 2 plate appearances. 2 on, 2 out, 2 in. Slow roller towards Benelis, and the first baseman will take the play by himself, and that will ultimately end the inning. But the Baysox put 2 runs across. They did it on a couple hits. There were no errors and 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's now 3-1, Chesapeake on top. Bottom half of the fifth inning is presented by Cornwall Manor, a unique and charming community nestled on a 190-acre wooded campus with many walking trails, including the Lebanon County Rail Trail. Also owe you the Deer Country Alumni Report. Another nice job by Justin Crawford last night for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. 3 more hits for Crawford, including another home run. I think that's number 6 now on the year for Crawford. So, of course, that's been the knock on Crawford. Well, he doesn't have any power. Got to hit for some power. Yeah, he can hit 300.
He's hitting 330.
But what about the power? So Crawford that's 6 home runs. And I would say at least 3, if not 4 of them, have come in the last month or so. So a little bit more power of Justin Crawford of late as Nick Dunn leads it off for the Fightins here in the 5th inning. Down 3-1. Dunn at the plate walked his first time. First pitch from Zach Fruit is over for a called strike on the inside corner. The left-hand hitting Nick Dunn. Second pitch bounces into the dirt. And so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. This one lifted foul straight back in front of us.
I was hoping we would get a good kick off those stairs.
It was going to be a nice soft bouncer right up into the booth, but nope. Hit, and now is a mystery as to what seat it's under. Looks like it found its way to a little girl, so good for her. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nick Dunn. Dunn to be followed by Leandro Pineda, and at the top of the order in Aiden Miller for the Phils here in the bottom of the 5th. This one is lifted foul again by Dunn and out of play. That a changeup from Zach Fruit. Again, a mix of 5 different pitches for Fruit. The 2-seam and the 4-seam fastball, cutter, sweeper, and change. This is 70th pitch, is lifted down the third base line and looping foul as Dunn just did a little squirter down the third base line. Falls harmlessly in front of the third base grandstand. So Dunn stays alive at 1-2. So again, 70 pitches now for Zach Fruit. Bullpen at this point still quiet for Chesapeake. 1-2 pitch. Outside again, it's 2-2. Fruit, the 25-year-old out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. 9th round draft pick of the Orioles in 2023 out of Troy University. And the 2-2 pitch from the right-hander. He's up and high. It's 3-2. So Dunn walked his first time, and he's now worked this count to 3 balls and 2 strikes after falling behind initially 0-2. Phil's looking for some base runners here in this 5th inning, down by 2. 3-2 pitch. Beats it foul again. Dunn lifts another one foul and out of play. Great at bat here for Nick Dunn. Veteran left-hand hitter making Zach Fruit work. And he'll try again, 3-2. And this one driven into left field, but not very deep. Over and broke back, and now will come in on it for the fly ball out for out number 1 here in the 5th inning. Brings up Leandro Pineda, who also flew out to left field his first time up.
It's a good battle there by Nick Dunn. 11 pitches seen in that at-bat.
And with that, I think some movement going on right now in the Chesapeake bullpen. Nobody's throwing from the mound yet, but working his way there as Pineda lifts this one into shallow center field. This will be squeezed by Enrique Bradfield for out number 2. Right-hander Peter Van Loon is the first one up in the Chesapeake bullpen. With Aiden Miller now at the plate, 2 outs in the 5th. Miller struck out in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. First pitch to him is down and low. 1-0 pitch, good curveball there from Zach Fruit. Miller not expecting a 1-0 breaking ball. And so now it's 1 ball and 1 strike. This one down low, it's 2-1. So the patience for Aiden Miller have stayed throughout. Works good at bats. And it's now 2 balls and a strike. Beats this one foul, and the count's now even at 2-2. And Miller's stayed patient, whether he's been up in key situations with men on base or not, whether he's been struggling for hits or not. So all good signs for just a 21-year-old player. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to him here. Lifts this one into shallow center field. Bradford coming in, and he'll make the knee-high catch. Nice running catch for Enrique Bradfield to take away this little looper into center field for the 3rd and final out here in the 5th. For the Fightins, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We have completed 5. It's 3-1, Chesapeake on top. Top half of the 6th inning. And Castellano back to work for the Fightin' Phils. After working himself out of a jam in the 5th, or actually working out of Chuck King's jam in the 5th inning. Came on to get the last 2 outs of that 5th inning. Established in 1928, the Manor Golf Club is one of the oldest public courses in eastern Pennsylvania, located between Philadelphia, Lancaster, and Allentown in Sinking Spring. It offers a true test of golf on a championship-style course. Visit themanorgolfclub.com for more information. Max Wagner will lead it off for the Baysox here in the 6th. Wagner 0 for 1 on the night, struck out and walked in 2 plate appearances against Chuck King. And the first pitch from Castellano is outside for a ball. One-0 pitch, big swing, no contact from Wagner, who has 18 doubles on the year, 5 home runs and 26 RBIs. Had that 18th double in last night's game. 24-year-old Wisconsin native, played his college baseball at Clemson. 1-1 pitch to him, started and stopped, but they'll say it's a called strike. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And started again, and he went around. So Max Wagner, a strikeout victim. Tatum Littleton, the first base umpire, said he did go around. So the second strikeout for Castellano is out number 1 here in the 6th. Brings up Douglas Hodo, the designated hitter tonight for the Baysox. He has not been that tonight. He struck out in his 2 plate appearances. Chuck King's final numbers on the night. Goes 4 1/3 innings. 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Or excuse me, all 3 of them earned. 2 walks and 8 strikeouts on the night. 1 ball and no strikes to Hodo. Drives this one deep to left field. Reyes will turn and watch as that one will one hop off the signs in left field above the Seidel Auto Group deck. So a line drive home run off the bat of Hodo, 393 feet for Douglas Hodo, his 9th home run of the year, a bolt to left field, and that makes it a 4-1 Chesapeake lead. Felix Reyes did not even bother. There was a justifiable reason in that. 106 off the bat for Hodo. And that'll bring up Tavion Josenberger, who was 0 for 2 on the night. First pitch from Castellano is outside for ball 1. Castellano began the season in a starter role, but injuries ultimately curtailed that. Came back as a reliever as he gets Josenberger to swing and miss here to even the count at 1-1. Josenberger shows bunt and pulls it back as the pitch is down at his feet and a jump out of the way of it. It's 2 balls and a strike. A run in, 1 out here in the 6th. 4-1 now, Chesapeake on top. Chopper up the middle. Aiden Miller is there. He has to charge it, and he'll make the play at first base in plenty of time. That is out number 2, and it'll bring up Carter Young. Young able to get the inning started that ultimately led to the demise of Chuck King. He drew a 1-out walk and eventually came around to score what was the go-ahead run at the time. 1 of 2 runs scored by Chesapeake in the 5th inning. They took a 3-1 lead. It's now 4-1. With 2 outs, Young bats here with nobody on board, and the first pitch from Castellano is down and in for ball 1. Top of the order, and Enrique Bradfield on deck circle if Young reaches. 1-0 pitch. Changeup had him way out in front, and now the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fisted foul straight back to the backstop. Castellano gets ahead now 1-2. Mets added to their lead in the 5th against Taiwan Walker. It's now 4-0 with the Phillies batting in the top of the 6th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the 6th in Reading as Carter Young fouls one down the first base line to stay alive at 1-2. So it's 4-0 in New York. It's 4-1 here in Reading. Castellano trying to get the last out here in the 6th. Way inside, and Young has to jump out of the way of it. It's 2-2. Rips this one, but hooks it foul. And yet another wasted pitch from Carter Young. Castellano to work a little harder. Again, there had been action in the Chesapeake bullpen, but it would appear that is no longer the case. Peter Van Loon had been up for Chesapeake, but he is not right now. And Young, chopper down the first base line. Pinellas has it. And with Castellano covering first base on the toss, will bring the 6th inning to a conclusion for Chesapeake, but they do get a run on a hit. It was the home run by Hodo. No errors and nobody left. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's now a 4-1 Baysox advantage. So we head to the bottom of the 6th, and the Phils now trailing by 3 runs. Will send up 2, 3, and 4 in their lineup. Zach Fruit is back out there for the Baysox. And Van Loon had been warming up in the bullpen for Chesapeake during that 5th inning, then sat down while the while the Baysox were batting to see if he gets back up here. Yep, that is Van Loon, so he is back up and throwing. Carson DiMartini 0 for 2 as he stands in from the left-hand side. And the first pitch from Zach Fruit is over for called strike 1. Fruit has given up just 2 hits in the ballgame. He struck out 5 and walked 2. He struck out 6 and walked 2. 0-1 pitch. Just misses here. It's 1-1. DiMartini struck out in the first, flew out to left field his last time up. The right field his last time up. Hit it on a line, but right at Reed Trimble. 1-1 pitch here is fouled straight back to the backstop. So the Phils seeing Fruit here for the 3rd time. One ball and 2 strikes to Carson DiMartini. Over for a called strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Zach Fruit.
Yeah, Fruit's already had a season high in innings pitched, season high in pitches, and that strikeout number 7 is matching a season high for him.
And that looks like it's the end of the line for him. They gave him, got to 85 pitches with that strikeout, and here comes Roberto Mercado to make the call to the bullpen. So Zach Fruit gets a strikeout on his last out with 1 out here in the 6th. His night is done. When we come back, we'll tell you about the new pitcher coming in for Chesapeake. Well, the Vernon University Golden Wolves call a bullpen for the first time tonight for Chesapeake. Brings in the right-hander Peter Van Loon.
22nd appearance of the year for Van Loon. 3-3 record, a 2.60 ERA. 34 2/3 innings pitched, 24 hits allowed, just one of which being a home run. 13 walks, 38 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 197 against Peter Van Loon this season.
6'5" right-hander will face Felix Reyes with one out here in the 6th inning. Reyes with the lone run produced by the Phillies offense tonight with a home run back in inning number 1, his 13th home run of the year. And the first pitch to him here, he was trying for number 14, but he comes up empty. On the fastball up high, it's no balls and a strike. Reyes struck out in his other plate appearance tonight. And this one is way outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Strong effort from Zach Fruit tonight. 5 1/3, 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The only run came on the Felix Reyes home run back in the bottom half of the 1st inning.
1-1 pitch to Reyes. Started and tried to stop, but he did not. They appealed. Tatum Littleton, the first base umpire, said, yeah, he went around, and it's 1-2. It's a pretty healthy start for Felix Reyes, and just too much momentum to try to hold that up. So now he's behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chopper into left side of the infield. Charging is Wagner, the third baseman. The throw pulls the first baseman Anderson off the bag, and they say that Reyes is safe.
I feel like that should go down as a base hit. And look, in the book, it goes down as 110 off the bat, not 53.5 off the bat. And if it is a hit, it's another multi-hit game for Felix Reyes. It is. And that Eastern League best batting average gets a couple more ticks added onto it.
So 2 more hits for Felix Reyes after 2 hits in last night's game. And that'll bring up Caleb Ricketts. Ricketts struck out and grounded out in 2 plate appearances so far tonight. Big swing here from Ricketts is a miss. The throw from Wagner pulled Anderson off the bag, and he tried to make a swipe tag watching that replay. And Anderson's swipe, by the time he made that swipe, Reyes was past him, and so he never made contact with Reyes on that swipe tag. Caleb Ricketts takes a cut at the 0-1 pitch and comes up empty. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Takes this one outside. It's 1-2. Ricketts with 5 home runs, 22 RBIs on the year, trying to get the Phils back in this. They trail it by 3 with a runner on first base and 1 out in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Ricketts checked his swing. No, he did not. They say he went around, and no argument from Ricketts. He's headed to the dugout on the strikeout. 2 down. First strikeout for Van Loon will bring Jose Rodriguez to the plate. Rodriguez 0 for 2. Flew out to right field, struck out in his 2 plate appearances to this point. So Reyes at first base now with 2 out. And Rodriguez hits it on a hop hard to Wagner. Backhanded stop, long throw. And Anderson with a stretch in time for the 3rd and final out here in the 6th for Reading. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, 6 complete, 4-1, Chesapeake on top. Top half of the seventh inning, and that seventh inning is presented to you by White Star Travel, the official group sponsor of the Reading Fightin Phils. Visit whitestartours.com for more information. 4-1 Chesapeake on top, and a new pitcher on the mound. The Alberta University Golden Wolves call the bullpen. Will bring in the right-hander Jayton Estanista now on for the Fightin Phils.
Estanista, appearance number 15, 1-1, 7.71 ERA, 16 and 1/3 innings pitched, 14 hits, 2 homers, 14 walks, 15 strikeouts, 246. Opponent's batting average.
And he will face the top of the order, Enrique Bradfield, followed by Austin Overn and then Reed Trimble. And the first pitch from Estanista is down low for a ball. Bradfield having a good night tonight after going 0 for 5 in game 1. He is 2 for 3 tonight, and he scored both times he's been on base. Doubled in the first, singled in the 5th. And it's now 2 balls and no strikes as Estanista misses a second straight down low. The 2-0 pitch is lifted then to the third base line and slicing foul. Home run distance actually by the time it actually hit off the fence down there. Felix Reyes has to now go retrieve it as the ball landed in the foul territory. So it's 2 balls and a strike to Enrique Bradfield. The number 4 prospect in the Baltimore Orioles organization. 2-1 pitch, over for a called strike 2. Bradfield taken out of Vanderbilt by the Orioles in the first round in 2023. He was the 17th player picked in that draft. Tremendous speed. Good defensive outfielder as well. Stole a ton of bases at Vanderbilt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to him here. He lifted this one foul out of play. Last year in Aberdeen, in 81 games, he stole 59 bases. And then was called up and played the final 27 games with Bowie and stole. They were Bowie then. I didn't make the mistake. They were Bowie then. And 15 stolen bases for Bowie, now Chesapeake. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bradfield. It's inside. It's 3-2. Three-two pitch, line down the third base line, and it's a fair ball, and it's going to roll the corner. Bradfield running around first base and headed for second till Reyes can go dig it out. Bradfield will turn second and put on the brakes. So it'll be a stand-up double for Bradfield, his second extra base hit of the game, his 3rd hit of the night, and he is a leadoff base runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Bradfield, seeing kind of tonight why he's such a highly touted prospect by the Orioles in their system. 3 hits tonight after going 0 for 5 last night. 2 doubles, couple of runs scored. It's a great night so far for Enrique Bradfield Jr.
So that'll bring up Austin Overn. Overn 1 for 3 on the night as well. He had an RBI single his last time up. And the first pitch to Estanista is into dirt. Good block by Ricketts. It bounced all but in front of home plate and off the chest protector of Ricketts, keeping the ball in front of him. And Bradfield obviously staying put at second base. DeMartini up even with the grass at third base just in case Overn has any ideas to drop a bunt down. 1-0 pitch, lined into left field. Reyes charging, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1.
Kind of back to our conversations that we've had on Felix Reyes. He's just improved a lot defensively, too. I mean, I think he's kind of settling himself into that left field spot mostly. We've seen him play some third. We've seen him play first a good bit, too. But obviously Mendez being traded kind of really cleared the way for, an outfield spot for Felix Reyes. And, of course, they'll still kind of mix him around other spots in the diamond. But I think left field is probably the spot he's going to find himself to be most comfortable in.
Reed Trimble is now the hitter. The runner at second and 1 out. Estanista getting a little jumpy with Bradfield at second base. Bluffs him back to second to the bag. Trimble 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts, and he also walked in 3 plate appearances. Aiden Miller kind of sneaking behind Bradfield a little bit at second base. Big swing there from Trimble comes up empty. He hit a bomb last night. Towering home run. Clearing the rack train sign. And we're not quite sure if it cleared the brick wall and headed out on a center avenue, but it had the gusto to do so. His 8th home run of the year. The 0-1 pitch to him here is on the inside corner, and Estanista jumps ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Estanista, of course, working from the stretch. Long look to back to second, to the plate, misses way outside. It's 1-2. Trimble, 25 years old. Plays college baseball at Southern Miss. Selected by the Orioles in 2021. He's a Tupelo, Mississippi native. Bradfield takes off. The throw down by Ricketts is in a perfect spot, but I don't believe the tag was done. No, they're calling him safe. Looked like the throw beat him. I'm not sure if Bradfield slid around it. A little bit of a tangle up there between Bradfield and DiMartini. Bradfield is safe at third.
Stolen base number 24 of the season for Enrique Bradfield. Close one, must have just gotten the foot in.
That's 2-2 now to Trimble. With Bradfield now at third base and 1 out. Now the Phillies again will bring the infield up to try to cut off another run. Down 4-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. And that misses down low. It's 3-2. Lifts this one into shallow left field, down the line, in foul territory. Aiden Miller overruns it, and it lands in foul territory. Reyes, DiMartini, and Miller were all headed over there, and Aiden Miller just simply overran it, landed behind it, but fortunately for the Phils, it lands in foul territory.
And that landed a lot closer to the line than I think you originally would have thought. Also, Trimble broke his bat, so he's got to go get a new one. But regardless, though, yeah, it was I think a lot closer to being a fair ball than it may have looked originally. But, yeah, just found that kind of little Bermuda Triangle of Miller at short, DiMartini at third, and Reyes in left.
So another life now for Reed Trimble with 1 out, and again a runner at third base. Would have been interesting had Miller been able to catch that with the speed of Bradfield if he would have challenged him, because he was running away from the plate.
I thought that too.
So we'll see how that happens here. Trimble just reaches out and slaps that one foul off the backstop. Stay alive at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Also have to be cognizant of any pitches in the dirt. The Baysox did score a run, and it was Bradfield at third at the time on a wild pitch in that 2-run 5th inning. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes to the 3-hole hitter, Reed Trimble. Aiden Estanista winds and delivers. Down low, ball 4. So that will put runners at the corners now. Brings Adam Retzbach to the plate. Should allow the infield now to go back with the idea of trying to turn 2 and get out of this inning. Runners at the corners and 1 out. Retzbach 1 for 3 on the night. Safe on an error, a single, and struck out in 3 plate appearances. So Miller and Rodriguez and Carson DiMartini now will join them, dropping back in the infield with Pinellas, of course, at first base holding on the runner. Runners at the corners, as I said, and 1 out, and the cleanup hitter Retzbach at the plate. Runner takes off from second. Ricketts will throw down. It's late. Ball was in the dirt. Ricketts couldn't field it cleanly. So that takes the double play right back out of the equation as Trimble steals second. And now here comes the infield right back up again.
Yeah, no surprise. I mean, Trimble still now 12 for 12 on the year. No surprise he was going to run pretty much right away. I mean, because look, you're up by 3. You'd love to take the double play out of order if you're Chesapeake, and that's exactly what they did.
Retzbach swings over the top of the cutter from Estenisa. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, second and third, 1 out here. 1-1 pitch. Off the end of his bat, stays alive, fouling it away. It's 1-2. Just misses outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's been a battle this inning for Estenista. 21 pitches, long at bats, 4th batter he's faced. Just trying to keep the deficit where it's at.
And again, just beating it foul is Retzbach to stay alive. The count remains at 2-2. Both bullpens are quiet right now. Again, top half of the 7th inning. Chesapeake with 2 runners on and a 3-run lead with 1 out. And the 2-2 pitch to the plate. Fouled away again. Good day to be a souvenir hunter for baseballs.
So far this inning was a 7-pitch at bat to Bradfield. Just 2 pitches to Overn. Then 8 to Trimble. Next one will be number 7 to Retzbach.
Trying to get him to put the ball in play or punch him out with 1 out. Chopper towards Rodriguez at second. He's only got 1 play to toss to first. He'll get the out, but Bradfield will come across with the run that makes it 5-1.
Retzbach picks up another RBI, his 54th of the year, and that's the right play by Jose Rodriguez. I mean, with Bradfield on third, it's got to be hit like extremely sharply to you. Something that chops that high, Bradfield's going to score no matter what. You got to get the guaranteed out.
RBI number 54 for Adam Retzbach. And on the play, Trimble moves up to third base now with 2 outs for Ethan Anderson, who's 0 for 3 now on the night. And the first pitch to him from Estenista is down low for a ball. And bound low, ball 2. And that's over for a called strike 1. And strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Phil's pitchers, have only walked 4 in this game, which may seem like an understatement by saying only walk 4. It just seems like it's been worse because they've had a lot of deep counts and, as we said, a ton of foul balls. 2-2 pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3, and the top half of the 7th inning comes to a conclusion. But again, Chesapeake adds on a run on a hit. There were no errors, and 1 man left. 7th inning stretch in baseball town. It's now 5-1. Baysox on top. Bottom half of the 7th inning is brought to you by Swartz Culleton PC. Have you or a loved one been injured? Get justice. Call Swartz Culleton today at 1-800-JUSTICE. Now Peter Van Loon back out for another inning of work. He came on in the 6th inning. Faced 3 batters, got the last 2 outs of the 6th inning. And he's back out here to start the 7th. They'll face Alex Pinellas, Dylan Campbell, and Nick Dunn as the hole gets a little bit deeper now for the Fightin' Phils. After a 1-1 tie through 5 innings of play, through 4 innings of play, Chesapeake put a 2-spot up in the 5th, a single run in the 6th, and now another run in the 7th. Make it a 5-1 advantage. Fightin's with just 3 hits so far. Alex Pinellas has 1 of them as he swings at the first pitch here and lifts it foul towards the dugout for Chesapeake, but ultimately out of play as Adam Retzbach, the catcher, gives it a chase but runs out of room. So Pinellas swings and fouls the first pitch out of play. Single in the 2nd and a ground out to second base so far for Pinellas in 2 plate appearances. To be followed by Dylan Campbell and then Nick Dunn. 6, 7, and 8 in the Fightin' Phils lineup. 1 pitch is way outside for a ball. It's like Tristan Garnett up for the Phils to pitch the 8th. 1-1 pitch to Pinellas. Drilled into center field. Back goes Bradfield. Back, looks up, and it's off the event center. And Alex Pinellas will roll into second base with a stand-up leadoff double.
So Reading's got 4 hits tonight. 2 have come from Felix Reyes. 2 have come from Alex Pinellas. That's been it outside of a couple walks otherwise. So see if the rest of the offense now can start to string some hits together against the Baysox bullpen. 400 feet on that swing from Pinellas. 112 off the bat.
Double number 9 on the year for Pinellas. As a hit off the brick facing of the Redners Event Center. He'll take his lead off of second. Dylan Campbell will bat. Fightins need to get him rolling a little bit right now. 0 for 2 with a infield pop-up and a strikeout after an 0 for last night. First pitch to him here is up and away for a ball. Campbell at 223 in the batting average when the game began. 6 home runs and 19 RBIs. And Loon with a long look in. And comes outside. It's 2-0. Phils need base runners. They have 1 on right now at second base. As Josenberger, the second baseman, tries to cheat in a little bit, keep Pinellas a little closer. Way outside again. Really not even close in any of the 3 pitches right now to Dylan Campbell.
Gotta think it's take all the way here.
Especially the way he has struggled at the plate. He was scuffling a little bit coming back home from Altoona. And hasn't gone so well so far for Campbell in this series. Taking all the way indeed, and he catches the outside corner. It's 3-1.
I was going to say, that's a pitch you'd probably take in that situation anyway, so no harm, no foul there for Dylan Campbell.
So we'll see what happens here on 3 balls and 1 strike. Chopper left side to the third baseman, Wagner. He'll make the play to first in time, and Pinellas can go nowhere. Out number 1 in the 7th. Brings Nick Dunn to the plate. Dunn walked and flew out to left field in 2 plate appearances to this point. And the first pitch to Dunn is there for a called strike. Well, things have only gotten worse for the Philadelphia Phillies. They now trail the Mets 6-0 after Mark Vientos hit a 2-run home run. And this one lifted up foul territory, third base side. Max Wagner has plenty of room, and he'll make the catch on the soft pop-up for out number 2 here in the 7th. That'll bring Leandro Pineda to the plate.
Yeah, Phillies head back home, which I'm sure will be very nice. 4 against the Braves. Look, I know the Braves have not had a good year, but they're pesky. They're still, they still have a lot of players on that team that are very good. So, look, you got to go home and you got to find a way to bounce back. I mean, you got to keep that cushion before the Mets come to Philly in a couple of weeks.
Leandro Pineda now will bat. Fisted fouled on the first baseline. So the story, obviously, for the Mets will be the 3-game sweep, assuming that the Phillies can't figure out somehow or another to get some kind of offense going. But maybe just as big, Nolan McLean, as I said, the rookie making his 3rd start. He is still pitching. Alec Boehm just got a hit off of him in the 8th inning. That's Boehm's 2nd hit of the night and the 3rd hit for the Phillies. So Nolan McLean has given the Mets a great boost here. And the 0-1 pitch to Leandro Pineda is over in the inside corner for a called strike 2. Jonah Tong, who was with Binghamton earlier this season when the Rumble Ponies were in town, is also being called up by the Mets to pitch. So the Mets dipping into their minor league system to come up with some arms that have helped them. Or, well, one for sure in McLean, and I'm hoping for some as well from Jonah Tong. 0-2 to Leandro Pineda. Way inside, almost hit him. Maybe it did.
It did hit him.
So again, Leandro Pineda hit by a pitch. 2nd time in 2 nights that has occurred. Last night I got him in a hand. This time I got him in a foot. So the Phils now with 2 men on base with 2 outs at the top of the order and Aiden Miller at the plate.
Pineda up to 8 hit by pitches on the year. Tied with Cade Fergus for 2nd most on the team. Guy that leads them is actually the current batter now, Aiden Miller. 9 times been hit by a pitch this year.
He's 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, strikeout, and a flyout. First pitch way outside, ball 1.
Miller got hit twice last Friday at Altoona. Had a double, walked twice, hit by a pitch twice, reached base 5 times. 2nd time in his pro career he had reached 5 times in a game. The other time was via 5 hits. So this time a bit more unconventional, but you'll take it any way you can get it.
1-0 pitch. That's there for strike 1. Slider from Van Loon that catches at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Aiden Miller. 12 home runs, 39 RBIs on the year for Miller. 1-1 pitch. Down low for a ball. It's 2-1. Seems like it's been a long time since that home run total was added on here in Reading. 2 home runs in the Eastern League Player of the Week chase last week in Altoona. He's looking for something here in his hometown. 2 balls and a strike. Drills this one hard on a hop. Wagner, the 3rd baseman, makes the play and the force out at 2nd base. And that will do it for the Phils in the 7th. For Reading, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 more left on base. We're through 7. 5-1 Chesapeake on top. Welcome back as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. Another Alvernia University Golden Wolves call to the bullpen has been made. The left-hander Tristan Garnett to take over for Reading. Jake Starr to take over the play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Bob. Tristan Garnett in for the Fightin Phils, making his 15th appearance. 1-1, a 3.38 ERA. 16 innings pitched, 16 hits allowed, one of which being a home run. 8 walks, 20 strikeouts, 262 opponent's batting average against Tristan Garnett this year. So Baysox will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate here in the frame. Max Wagner leads things off in this 8th inning against Garnett. 5-1's our score. Chesapeake on top. The first pitch, a called strike to Wagner. It's 0-1. Quiet night so far for Wagner. A couple of strikeouts and a walk. 0 for 2 in total. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Wagner. Garnett, the 4th pitcher of the night for the Phils, when Jaden Estanista went an inning, gave up 2 hits, a run, no walks, and 1 strikeout back in the 7th. The 0-2 is a fastball that sails a bit high and outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Max Wagner. Wagner, the 24-year-old, swings at the 1-2 offering and will foul it off to the right side and out of play. Wagner 1 for 6 on the week so far. Had a double in last night's ball game. He's had 3 separate stints on the IL this year. 75th game for him. And the 1-2 is a swing and a miss. And Wagner goes down on strikes. That's out number 1 here in the 8th. Jimmy G's Railroad House, sports bar and restaurant in Sinking Spring, is a family-friendly spot serving delicious food and drinks. Catch the game on one of their 26 HD TVs and relax in a welcoming atmosphere. Visit them at 152 Woodrow Avenue in Sinking Spring. Jimmy G's Railroad House is a proud Fightin Phillies team feed partner. Here's Douglas Hodo. He'll watch the first pitch go by a bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Hodo 1 for 3 in tonight's game. The 1-0 is at the knees for a strike this time. It's 1-1. Couple of strikeouts to start, and then Hodo hit one well to the left field deck his last time up in the 6th. That came off Aberson Castellano. The 1-1, Garnett, and that's swung on and it's fouled out of play. It's 1-2. It was a good homestand for Douglas Hodo. Hit .382 over the 2 weeks at home. Doubled 4 times. Had a home run. Drove in 6 runs as well. And the 1-2 to the righty bat, and it's bounced on a slider. And it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hodo currently on a career best 11-game hitting streak. 3 home runs over that streak, 8 runs driven in, .381 as well. 2-2 is a swing and a miss. And back-to-back strikeouts for Tristan Garnett as Douglas Hodo goes down. 2 quick outs here in the 8th, and that'll bring Tavian Josenberger to the plate. Baysox do have action. It's a righty up and throwing for them. Ryan Long is the righty who's up. So looks like he'll get the bottom half of the 8th inning. First one home to Josenberger. Is a slider in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Already a couple of strikeouts here in the inning for Garnett. Made a couple of appearances last week at Altoona. 2 total innings. No runs allowed. And the 0-1 is swung on and fouled back. It's 0-2. Struck out 4, which included striking out the side a week ago tonight. In Reading's victory at Altoona. Garnett is not allowed in his last 3, allowed a run over his last 3 appearances. And he's looking to stretch that to another tonight. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, and it's a line drive down the right field line. It'll fall for a base hit, and it'll roll and hit off the wall. Around first towards second goes Josenberg. He'll cruise in there standing up, and it's a 2-out double for Tavian Josenberger, his 5th of the year. And the Baysox have a 2-out base runner for Carter Young. Off-speed pitch that was just up a little bit too much by Tristan Garnett. And Josenberger lined it down that right field line. So Carter Young is the batter now for the Baysox. Young 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game. Did walk and score a run back in the 5th. First pitch home is down the chute for a called strike. It's 0-1. Young did not play in last night's ball game. Currently hitless over his last 2 games. A 153 hitter on the year. 0-1. Check swing on a pitch down low. No swing, says the home plate umpire, Brennan Spivak. Young, who spent a couple of weeks with AAA Norfolk, was there from July the 29th to August 7th at .333 over 8 games. A couple of doubles, 3 runs driven in. That's a wide stance for him. Runner goes on the pitch. Pitches the ball. Throw to third is not in time. Looked like the throw beat him there, but a good job by Josenberger to sneak that right hand around the tag of Carson DiMartini at third. So it's stolen base number 18 of the year for Josenberger in 24 attempts. Pitch was a ball, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike, and it moves the runner to third. 2-1 to Carter Young. That's a swing and a miss, 2-2. Nice slider there from Garnett, who's now a strike away from getting out of this top half of the 8th inning.
It's back-to-back steals of bags of the third base bag for Chesapeake now in the last 2 innings. And it looked like both throws kind of got there before the runner did. But the runners in both cases, Bradfield and Josenberger, both somehow or another got around that tag and were safe.
The 2-2 to Young missed just outside of the lefty, so the count goes full. So it's a full count, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Fightin Phillies trail at 5-1. Lone base runner Tavian Josenberger leads off third. Garnett's ready, the payoff pitch, and it's a swing and a foul ball straight down, and the count stays full. Next pitch with the 7th of the at-bat, Carter Young, and what's been another lengthy at-bat worked by the Baysox. Next pitch for Garnett will be number 20. Infield back. Miller shaded towards the middle. DiMartini shaded towards the hole on the left side. 3-2 again is a swing and a foul ball. Hit off the mid of Caleb Ricketts, then shot straight down, and it stays 3-2. Fastball there at 89 from Tristan Garnett. So we'll do it again at 3-2. What will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat here to Carter Young. The lefty Garnett fires, and Young swings and misses, goes down on strikes. And Tristan Garnett strikes out the side here in the 8th. No runs for the Baysox. They had a hit. 1 man left on base. We played 7.5. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Baysox on top. It's 5-1. Bottom half of the 8th inning. New pitcher is in for the Baysox here in the inning. And it is going to be Ryan Long, the righty, 3rd pitcher of the day in for Chesapeake.
Long making his 22nd appearance of the season. 4-5 with a 4.32 earned run average. In 85 and a third innings pitch, he has given up 90 hits. He has struck out 60, walked 35. He has been a starter for the Baysox. That's why the innings are as high as they are. He has started 15 games for Chesapeake, making his 7th appearance out of the bullpen. Again, 60 strikeouts, 35 walks. He's also surrendered 11 home runs.
So it'll be 2-3-4 due up for the Fightin Phils here in the inning. Believe there might have been a change for the Baysox. Roberto Mercado was talking to the home plate umpire, Brandon Seaback, trying to figure out where exactly the change is, if there is one. And here's DeMartini, first pitch home, is taken down for a ball. It's 1-0.
The outfield's the same. First base is the same. Short and third are the same.
And second base was Josenberger.
Yeah, so I don't know what the conversation was.
Unless there's a new catcher, that could be the only other thing. 1-0, DeMartini swings, hits into the air towards shallow right center. Bradfield charges, and the center fielder makes the catch. That's out number 1.
Looks like it's Red Spock as the catcher.
It's a single digit, and Anderson's at first, so.
It was just a goodwill call on the part of Roberto Mercado.
I mean, yeah, usually you don't see the manager come out on a pitching change,
No.
but guess that was it. So Felix Reyes comes up. It's a good chance to give you your team leader update presented by PA Army National Guard. Felix Reyes leads the team in batting average, slugging percentage, OPS, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs. That's a lot. It's presented by PA Army National Guard. Felix Reyes, who leads the Eastern League in hitting, leads all of AA in hitting, and is ranked second in all of full season minor league baseball in hitting at .339. 104 hits on the air for Reyes. Digs in for the right side. Pitch home from Ryan Long is down for a ball. It's 1-0. 2 more hits tonight for Felix Reyes. Don't think there's a single person surprised about that. It's his 30th multi-hit game of the season. 1-0. He swings and he pops it up. It'll come out of play foul. Behind home plate, it's 1-1.
Kind of interesting the situation that Reyes finds himself in. He's in a chase for the batting title, not for hits, but for at-bats. I mean, he's what, a 30-point lead in the batting title coming into the game.
So he's
tonight.
just got to get enough plate appearances.
His race is to get enough plate appearances, not to get enough hits.
And next pitch is swung on and fouled. It's 1-1. Well, we did the math earlier. So it's 2.7 plate appearances per team game played. So Ryan's going to play, barring no cancellations, 136 games this year, right? So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Reyes. We'll get back to our math lesson here in a moment. Pitch shown, Reyes swings, pops it up. It'll go out of play foul. So he would theoretically need 367.2 plate appearances when the season is over to qualify. He's at 329 entering play tonight. So if we theoretically would need 38.2 over the final 17 games. So barring, an injury, hopefully that does not happen, knock on wood, he should be able to qualify the rest of the way. Here's the 1-2, and it's a swing and a miss by Felix Reyes, so he goes down on strikes. First one for Ryan Long, and that'll bring the catcher Caleb Ricketts to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time of the season, you like to give a guy a day off here and there just to keep them fresh, give them a day off. It's a long season, but at the same time, from Al Padrica's standpoint, they know the situation. They don't want to give him more days off that's going to cost him a batting title, so they want to make sure the math checks.
Caleb Ricketts the batter, first pitch to him, and he swings and he pops it up. It'll be foul, 0-1. Ricketts 0 for 3 tonight on a 14-game hitting streak, longest by an RFL since the 2023 season. He was able to extend it in his final at-bat last night. This could be his last chance tonight to extend it, with running down by 4 here in the 8th. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. And back to Reyes. He didn't join Reading until late April, and he wasn't an everyday player really until June, so he just didn't get enough at-bats early on in the season to put himself in a comfortable qualification spot. It's crazy as Hendry Mendez still qualifies for top batting average in the Eastern League at I think he's 5th overall, and he hasn't played a game in Reading in almost a month at this point. But he was playing every day. Mendez, of course, was included in the Harrison Bader trade. Bader, who homered in last night's ball game for the Phillies, that tied the game in the 8th. Here's the 0-2. Ricketts swinging a ground ball towards the middle. It'll leak into center field, a base hit. And Caleb Ricketts is up to a 15-game hitting streak. as he singles in what could have been his last chance to try and extend it tonight.
He did the same thing last night.
Yeah,
Singled his last time
singled
up.
the right field his last time up. So that's a 15-game hitting streak for Caleb Ricketts. That matches Carlos De La Cruz's 15-game hit streak from May 23rd to June 9th of 2023. That was the last time an RFL had a hit streak that long. Was Carlos De La Cruz's 15. I mean, Felix Reyes right on Ricketts' heels. He's got a 12-game hitting streak currently. So here's Jose Rodriguez with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Phillies lost 6-0. And the first pitch of the ball, it's 1-0. Was the 5th hit in total for the Fightin' Phils tonight. Now Rodriguez looking for one of his own. He's 0 for 3. 1-0. He swings and he pops it up. Left side of the infield. And it'll be the third baseman Wagner who makes the call on the catch. And that will retire the side here in the 8th. No runs on a hit. 1 man left on base for the Phils. We will head to the 9th. Fightin' Phils trail at 5-1. Top half of the 9th inning, and our attendance tonight at FirstEnergy Stadium is 3,369. Thanks to our friends at PSCCU for presenting tonight's attendance. PSCCU is proud to be one of the largest credit unions in Pennsylvania. So we go to the top of the 9th inning. Baysox on top of the Fightin' Phils 5-1. And it's a new pitcher on the mound for Reading. It'll be the righty Andrew Bechtold.
Bechtold making his 35th appearance of the season. He is 0-3 with a 4.0 earned run average in 36 innings pitched. He's given up 36 hits. He's struck out 51. He's walked 19.
So it'll be the top of the order due up here for the Baysox. Enrique Bradfield Jr. has had himself a very strong night. We'll dig on in from the left side for the 5th time tonight. Bradfield 3 for 4, couple of doubles. He has scored 3 runs. Also stolen a base in tonight's ball game. First pitch home has been in tight to Bradfield. It's 1-0. Bradfield responded very nicely after an 0 for 5 performance in the lid lifter of this week's 6-game series. The 1-0 is another cutter for a called strike. It's 1-1. Bechtold in for Tristan Garnett, who looks solid in the 8th. Struck out the side. Did allow a hit, but stranded a runner on third base to finish off the inning. Next pitch home is swung on into the air towards center. Straight back goes Dylan Campbell. Gets to a spot and makes the catch. That'll be out number 1. And that'll bring Austin over into the plate. More action in the bullpen for the Baysox. Tyson Neighbors. Right-handed pitcher is up and throwing. Another one of those acquisitions from the Padres who, basically practically unloaded their entire farm system
Yes,
at the trade deadline. Like, I have not seen a sale like that of a farm system in a very long time.
Yeah, Padres better win now.
That's true. First pitch to Overton is a
That's not
strike. It's 0-1.
That's just this year. Let's not forget how many they gave up for Juan Soto.
Yep.
And
that
some
was
other trades
half
along the
a
way.
year Juan Soto.
Correct. Yes.
Let's remind you who they lost to in the National League Championship Series that year. 0-1, a swing and a miss 0-2. That would be the Phillies.
Correct. But they have done that. They've made moves like that over the course of the last couple of years. So their minor league system has to be bone dry in terms of the trades as it pertains to the moves that they've made in the last couple of years.
Here's the 0-2. That one's bounced. A good block by Caleb Ricketts behind home plate. I mean, I think a lot of where they're at, mindset-wise in that organization. I mean, Manny Machado, signed the same year as Bryce Harper, pretty much halfway through that contract. He's 33 years old, so your window to win with Machado is closing. And look, obviously Machado can still be an elite player for 5-6 more years, but statistically, when a guy hits 35, 36, you start to kind of see a decline. So they're trying to really capitalize on this window right now. 1-2 is swung on, lifted into the air towards shallow left. Reyes a couple of steps in. The left footer is there to make the catch. That's out number 2.
No,
and that'll bring Reed Trimble to the plate.
There's no doubt San Diego's in a similar spot that the Phillies are. I mean, it's about winning now, and they have made moves to try to ensure themselves of putting themselves in a better position to try and win now.
So Trimble digs in. He's 1 for 3 in tonight's ball game. First pitch home is swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Trimble singles last time up. He's now reached in 30 of his last 31 games since June the 21st. And he's on a 10-game hit streak, which is a new career high for him. The 0-1 misses outside. It's a ball and a strike. Trimble a good night last night. He drove in 3 runs, had a 2-run homer in the 6th. Tacked on an RBI double in the 8th. And it's a ball and a strike with 2 outs to him. Bechtold fires home. And I'll miss the cutter down low, 2-1. Bechtold, local to Reading, about an hour away from Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania. Played his high school baseball at Garnet Valley in the Central League. Went to Maryland for a couple of years before transferring to Chipola Junior College down in Florida. 2-1, swung on and fouled. It's 2-2. Bechtold drafted by the Twins originally. Did not transition to being a pitcher really until the 2023 season. Was a hitter, first 5-6 years of his pro career. 2-2. And it's a swing and a miss and struck him out. So Andrew Bechtold sends the Baysox down in order in the top half of the 9th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It's rally time for the Fightin' Phils. They trail it 5-1. Top half of the 9th inning, 5-1, Baysox on top. Our Phils need a rally, and they're going to have to do it against a new pitcher for Chesapeake. It's the righty Tyson Neighbors.
Neighbors coming in for Chesapeake, making his 7th appearance as a Baysox after coming over in a trade from the,
San Diego Padres.
San Diego Padres. Timing is everything in life. He has not got a decision since he's been with Chesapeake. He doesn't have an ERA either. His ERA is 0. 7 1/3 innings pitch. He's given up just 2 hits. Struck out 6 and has walked 3.
Was acquired by the Orioles in a trade that sent outfitter Roman Laureano and infielder Ryan O'Hearn to the Padres. He was San Diego's number 12 prospect at the time of the trade, and he split the season between High A Fort Wayne and Double A San Antonio. 1.85 ERA. between those two stops. Promoted to San Antonio on June the 10th. That's where he was until he was traded to Baltimore. 6, 7, 8 due up. Alex Pinellas will lead things off for the Phils here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And the first pitch on is down for a ball. It's 1-0. Good night for Pinellas. Couple of hits, 2 for 3. Doubled his last time up in the 7th. Reading 5 hits in total tonight. The 1-0 is taken up for a ball. It's 2-0. Now it's up to 278 on the season. This is 54th game he's played with Reading. 6 homers, 30 runs driven in. And the 2-0, swing and a miss, 2-1. Swings over top of a cutter at 88 from Tyson Neighbors. He was in for Ryan Long, who allowed us a hit. Struck out 1 over a scoreless 8th inning, his only inning of work. 2-1, and Pinellas takes one down the chute with a fastball for a strike. It's 2-2. Fightin Phillies trying to rally for a comeback here in Game 2 of this week's series. And the 2-2 is a curveball, drops in for a called strike 3. Nice curveball there by Tyson Neighbors. That's out number 1, and that'll bring Dylan Campbell to the plate. So Campbell in from the right side, 0 for 3 in tonight's ball game. And the first pitch is swung on and a hard hit ground ball through the middle. That'll be a base hit for Dylan Campbell. His first hit of the series as well. And it's a 1-out base runner for the Fightin Phils, and that'll bring Nick Dunn to the plate.
That has got to feel good for Dylan Campbell. It's been a scuffle of late, and especially in this series. So to get him going a little bit again, maybe that late game hit will spark a little bit for Dylan Campbell rolling into the rest of this series.
Yeah, because we've seen Campbell rolling at a really good road trip, the 2-week road trip back in early August. So I'm trying to get him back to where he was. So here's Dunn. He'll dig in from the left side. And the first pitch is a ball. It's 1-0.
I mean, you won't know this, but I'd be curious. Like, if he doesn't get a quality at bat there, you think maybe tomorrow night might be a night where you give him a night off. But now that you got that base hit, maybe now you don't give him that night off. You want him to carry that forward a little bit.
Well, Dunn swings the 1-0. It's a ground ball to second base, who Josenberger goes to Young at short for 1. Young's relayed at first is a bit late. Dunn beats it out, so it's a 4-6 fielder's choice. Campbell at its second. That'll bring Leandro Pineda to the plate in what is Reading's final chance tonight. Pineda 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Nick Dunn leads off first. First pitch to Pineda. He'll take it down for a ball. It's 1-0. So Pineda, a 12-game hit streak, but still hitless. 12-game on base streak. Still hitless in this series. He's 0 for 5. 1-0 is down. It gets away from the catcher, Retzbach, for a moment, but able to keep it in his zip code. So Nick Dunn holds pat at first base. And the pitch home is upstairs. 3 balls, no strikes. So we'll see if Pineda has the green light here on 3-0. Reading trails by 4 here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Pitch home, and it was a take all the way for Leandro Pineda, and it is down. So that's ball 4. And he works himself a walk. The 3rd walk overall that the Baysox have issued tonight. And that'll bring Aiden Miller to the plate. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. It's be a great spot to break through here and get his first hit of the week. Brief mound visit here as the catcher, Retzbach, goes out to chat with the pitcher, Tyson Neighbors. 12 pitches in this inning for Neighbors. Should Miller reach, Carson DiMartini would be the tying run on deck. It's first and second are the runners. 2 outs, bottom 9. 5-1, Baysox on top. And the first pitch home. Miller swings, drives it well towards right center field. Trimble comes in, he sizes it up and makes the catch, and that will retire the side and end the ball game. So Fightin Phils drop their 4th straight and their 2nd in a row to start this week's series. The Baysox falling 5-1 tonight in the inning for Reading. No runs, no hits, and they leave 2 on base. We'll step aside for a moment. Bob McCool's got your post-game show coming up after this here on the Fightin Phils Radio Network.
Tonight's postgame show is presented by White Star Travel, the official group sponsor of the Reading Fightin Phils. Visit whitestartours.com for more information. Well, not a whole lot of offense tonight for the Fightin Phils, and the Chesapeake Baysox take game 2 of this series by a final score of 5-1. Chuck King got the start tonight for Reading. Zach Fruit got the start for the Baysox, and Baysox got on the board first as Enrique Bradfield, the leadoff hitter, got the game started with a left center field double in the gap, his 11th double of the season, and eventually came across on a little bit of an odd play. Adam Retzbach, the cleanup hitter, with 2 outs and a little chopper in front of the plate. Chuck King picked it up, tossed it to first baseman Alex Pinellas, who lost it in the sun. The ball rolled down the third baseline, which allowed Bradfield to score. Eventually it was ruled an error and an unearned run for King, and Bradfield got the run across for the Baysox to put him on top. And Felix Reyes evened that up in the bottom of the 1st inning when he had a towering home run onto the Seidel Auto Group deck for his 13th home run of the year, his 49th RBI of the season, and we were even at 1. And then the pitchers, Fruit and King, took over for the next couple of innings before Chuck King ran into some trouble in the 5th inning. It happened with 1 out and the 9-hole hitter at the plate in Carter Young. King walked him, his 2nd walk of the night. Then Bradfield followed that up with a single. Austin Overn then singled to score Carter Young. Bradfield went to 3rd on the throw home, Overn to 2nd. And then a wild pitch by King brought home Bradfield. And ultimately the 2 runs made it a 3-1 advantage. It also ended the night for Chuck King after what appeared to be a very promising start. He did have a career-high 8 strikeouts on the night, but ran out of gas in that 5th inning. And a 3-1 lead for Chesapeake at that point in time. And the Baysox added on in the 6th inning on a solo home run from Douglas Hodo, his 9th home run of the year. And then added 1 more on in the 7th, as again Bradfield was in the middle of it with another double. He then stole 3rd base and eventually came across on an infield groundout off the bat of Adam Retzbach for his 54th RBI of the season, and that made it a 5-0 advantage in favor of the Baysox. And ultimately, that is all they needed, as the Fightin Phils could do very little off of Zach Fruit, and then 3 pitchers out of the bullpen in Peter Van Loon, Ryan Long, and Tyson Neighbors all finishing things off for the Baysox in the win. And ultimately, the second game of the series goes to Chesapeake, and the Fightin Phil's losing streak now reaches 4 in a row. Van Loon pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up just 2 hits, and obviously no runs. Long pitched the 8th, giving up just a hit, and Neighbors the 9th, giving up just a hit as well. So some harmless hits for the Phils in the cause, ultimately, and they are not able to put any innings together, and the Baysox take the W. Chesapeake goes to 21-32 now with the win. They're 52-68 overall on the season, and Reading with the loss falls to 22-31 in half number 2, and on the season now is 47-73. For Chesapeake, 5 runs on 7 hits, did not commit an error. They left 7 men on base. For the Fightin Phils, 1 run on 6 hits. They committed 1 error, and they left 9 men on base. Zach Fruit gets the win. He is now 1-4, and Chuck King takes the loss for the Fightins. He is now 7-6. There was no save opportunity in the ball game that lasted 2 hours and 52 minutes and was played in front of 3,369 here at FirstEnergy Stadium. We'll do it again tomorrow night. The Phils will try and salvage a win the first game of this series. In game number 3, it'll be Gene Cabrera going for the Fightin Phils tomorrow. He'll be opposed by right-handed pitcher Nestor Herman for the Chesapeake Baysox. Again, 6:45 is first pitch, and we'll have it for you here in the Reading Fightin Phils radio network with our pregame show beginning at 6:30. Thanks to the manager, Al Badrique, for spending some time on the pregame show with Jake and spending some time with us on WEU on the morning show. Mornings with Mike this morning. Al Badrique and Jake were in with us this morning at 8 o'clock. Spent a good time with Al here on the radio. We'll be back here for the morning show on Tuesday, September the 9th. We'll be here broadcasting the morning show from FirstEnergy Stadium prior to that first pitch at 11 o'clock. So we'll be out here on 2 weeks from yesterday, the final series here in Baseball Town in 2025. And we'll kick it off with a Tuesday 11 a.m. game. And WEU, Mike Keller, and yours truly will kick it off with a broadcast of our morning show here from the Redners Event Center beginning from 6 until 9 o'clock. The rest of this series, fireworks take over tomorrow night and Friday. Then, of course, Saturday is a Mega Blast fireworks, and then Sunday is the Dinosaur Expo. Very popular last year. It'll be back again here in 2025 on Sunday on the series finale between the Phils and the Baysox with a 5:15 first pitch. So that will do it for our broadcast tonight. Again, the Chesapeake Baysox with the win. They take game 1 and now game 2 in this series. We'll be back with game 3 tomorrow night. For Jake Starr, my name is Bob McCool. As always, thanks for listening to Reading Fightin Phils Baseball. Hope to see you here in Baseball Town before the 2025 season comes to an end. Have a great night, everyone.